Yo, and yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Boys in the Big Apple podcast. We have a loaded show for you tonight. Yes, eventually we'll bring on
Fucking
Joe.
A. What? Second week in a row I did this with the mic muted. I match and I got my drink. I'm ready.
Okay, so first of all, Victory Monday. Ching ching. Very
Cheers.
surprising Victory Monday.
Cheers. Cheers, my guys. Cheers.
I just speared beer on myself, so we know how the evening's going to go.
Isn't your shirt white, though?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you could see it because of the lights. But anyway, the
Alex
Giants
is in a haunted house.
Yes, I'm in a haunted house. The Giants won against the Packers. I just want to clarify because I made the bet with myself last week during the Friday game for the Knicks. I said if the Giants win against the Packers, my Giants segment will be spoken in a British accent. So when we get to the Giants segment, nobody get offended or leave. There's what I'm going to say about that. But Jets also won. I know Luca's going to be big on that. Obviously, we'll bring on Sean. We'll talk about the Yankees. We'll talk about Aroldis Chapman giving up on the team. But Donald, my man, what's on your mind?
Shove that fucking cheese up your ass. Shove that fucking cheese up your ass.
I got to admit, that was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. So, yeah, a bunch of things. We'll have to get into the ALDS. Apparently, Diesel and Mayhew is not as healthy as we hope, but hey, Chapman's gone, so that's addition by subtraction. Knicks have been on fire in preseason, and the New York Football Giants are the talk of the town. The best win in 10 years, without question, and also credit to Tony's Texans for that W. No one would have expected them to win that game against the Jags, so that was a good result for them. Very interesting National Football League. Dallas Cowboys with a big win over the Super Bowl champions. That is not good for the Super Bowl champions, but very good for Dallas. So a lot to talk about in the NFL, and of course, Lucas Jets going from strength to strength. A couple of good results, and I don't think he'll be wanting the coach fired now. I'm just guessing.
No, we'll talk about that. One more thing before we bring on John, obviously, with the whole intro and stuff. It's funny because, obviously a lot of Giant fans were going into the season saying Jones was not the franchise quarterback and all that stuff. I see more comments now that if people are tweeting, if Jones does this consistently, let's bring him back for like a 1-year, 2-year contract. Yeah, we'll revisit that, obviously.
Definitely. So shout-outs to Jacob, shout-outs to Tony, Evan, Jets vs. Mess, all that stuff. So before we bring on our much-famed ranting friend, we have a little intro to play. So enjoy. Okay, John.
I was actually able to enjoy my Sunday afternoon because Luca, the Jets won.
Cheers.
Cheers for that. And I had a little bit of hope left. I knew in the end they would probably lose. It would probably be a close game, I thought. But this stupid team, oh my God, what? Okay. Billy Epler is a fraud. Okay? No, I'm serious. He is. He has to be a fraud. Excuse me if my hair is terrible right now because of the hat. But anyway, this dude tricked all of us on trade deadline day by selling us the bill of goods of Danny Berger Vogelback and Darren Ruff. Two of the worst DH people I have ever seen in my life. Literally, they don't play the field. All they have to do is get hits. Neither one can hit. Here's another thing Epler didn't do. Go get a catcher. Why? Because he wanted to protect our top prospects. That's what he said. He brought up Beatty not too long after, who got hurt the rest of the year. He then brought up Francisco Alvarez in the biggest series in the past decade against the Braves, which that was the day we pretty much lost everything. They lost the division. Then we had to go play at home. Every game was home. There was no in San Diego, all right? There's barely any Padres fans. It's packed of Mets fans. What happens? Friday night, Max Scherzer, disgrace. It was disgraceful. Dude gave up 4 homers. Thought he was the baddest pitcher on the planet, but gave up homers to Trent Grisham, a guy who's hitting below 200. He killed us this series. How many fucking times was he making a highlight play? It's ridiculous. And
the bottom of the order kills you.
It makes no sense. We had guys like Grisham, Kim, and every bottom hitter they had, and Nola. Why do the Mets? I'm sorry. I was reading that comment. It makes no sense, Evan. I don't know, but
that's the Mets for you.
The bottom 3 hitters did better than most of the offense. We got 1 hit.
It was from Pete Alonso.
Where is it? Where's the offense? This team is supposed to be like, you won 101 games. You're telling me you got 1 hit in a playoff game? Really? What? Why? Because Joe Musgrove was cheating? So supposedly, which I don't know if that's true or not. If it is, it's shameful. If not, we just straight up got beat. All right. Couldn't hit in the series. Okay. Our big pitchers couldn't pitch well, and it's our GM's fault. And now the reason I'm really frustrated is because this was the year that this iteration of the team was supposed to win. Because now they're not. Because now it's contract season for everyone. Jacob deGrom's up. Edwin Diaz is up. Chris Bassett's up. Brandon Nimmo's up. Taijuan Walker's up. Carrasco's up too. Or either up or have player options, which I'm sure most of these guys are going to want to test the market. But my God, man, it's so frustrating. Like what did I have to do to deserve this? I don't hurt people, okay? I'm a very nice guy. I've never been to jail. All right? I've never ruined anyone's life. Why?
He's never hurt anyone.
That's brilliant.
Why do they do this to me? What did I do, guys? Please.
I'll tell you in one. Root for the Mets.
Yeah,
that's
there
your
you
answer
go.
right
Yeah,
there. That's your answer right there.
Just a terrible.
First of all, what did you think about Buck Showalter trying to intimate that that the pitcher was cheating with the ear thing?
It was weak because you think about it, like this guy was dominating us all night. And I know Musgrove's a very good pitcher. Like I knew that coming in, like, yeah, it was not going to be easy. The best strategy we had was to try and get him out of the game, but no, he blew by everyone. Okay, no guy could make a hit, but with Buck doing that, and you're down like 4-0 at the time. I don't remember what the exact score was because we're losing all night, so it didn't really matter what the score was. Once I knew that Bassett had that second inning, by the way, where he walked a few guys and he gave up the base hit to friggin' Austin Nola of all people. Yeah, that's who's going to be our defeater. Austin Nola, guys. Woo! And as I was saying, it looks weak. Like, you're telling me you don't yell at your guys for not getting a hit? Like, where's the fire there? And then you hear in the press conference after the game, he's like, we know the risk of what's happening. It's disappointing. Like, yeah, duh, it's disappointing. Duh, you won 101 games and you fucking blew it. Like, where's the
I was disappointed in Buck Showalter there because
what was that?
First of all, it's the playoffs, and it sends a really bad image across the league that there's even a chance of cheating going on. That's A. B, why can't you just accept the fact that the guy was dominating you guys? But he was like, oh no, but the guy's spin rate was up and all this stuff. Well, maybe it's because he was amped up because it's the playoffs and he was pitching harder, he was throwing faster, thus more spin rate.
I'm seriously considering changing this, having a petition to change this damn organization's team name to Fishermen. All right? You know why? Because all their fucking pitchers flopped. They flopped like a dead damn fish, okay? every big game. There was this one against the Padres, or it was this one, or last week's against the Braves. How many times did they not come through? Seriously.
I mean, just remember, they got swept by the Cubs. They lost the series to the Nationals. They got swept by the Braves where they could have won one game. And I think, Joe Beningo was on with, I'm critical of Joe Beningo at times, but he said, on Tiki and Tierney this morning, he's like, it's Buck's fault too that this team got complacent because after the Dodgers, they were on a high and they were like, they got greedy. They essentially said, okay, they didn't say it, but it was like their mentality. Okay, the division's ours, but the Braves are still winning games and they're right behind you.
That's a combination of him and the players not playing hard enough. How many times do I got to see the middle of the order go 1, 2, 3? Like we literally have a guy who tied Aaron Judge with RBIs. We have the fucking batting champ this year, Jeff McNeil. Francisco Lindor played great this year, but other than Saturday, he was a no-show. Like Brandon Nimmo in the losses could not be found. Starling Marte, the 9-fingered Starling Marte. All right, yeah. I don't understand this. Tell me this. Hold up. You're telling me he was good for the playoffs with that little cast on. Did you see the throw he made?
Yeah, it was like you just airmailed the third baseman.
It was like, why is he playing if he can't throw? Or why is he in the outfield? It made no sense. And don't get me started with the catching position.
Oh no,
so bad. With Thomas Nido and James, I know his name is McCann, but James McCann, because he can't do shit. Okay, it's horrendous. They had 5 homers combined this year. 5.
Fuck.
That's terrible.
Bad. I think Ozzie and Oswaldo Peraza had more home runs than that.
Kyle Higashioka, I don't know his numbers.
He probably had more homers. Luca, I'm going to ask you to research that.
He probably had more homers.
Real quickly, I want to read some comments before Jesus Christ. John goes back on his Mets rant. Take some aspirin, angry John. Yes, Jeffrey, you did tell me about this. Jeffrey's first cousin passed away yesterday morning.
Very sorry to hear that, man.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Cheers up, man. How old was his cousin? I'm really sorry.
I'm not sure, but of course he did ask me to send some prayers, and I'm happy to do it because he always comes in the chat and supports us. Evan says, "Well, the Mets are gonna Met." Jacob says, "Evan, I put money on the Mets to win it all myself." Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, that was
really bad. That was why waste your money, man? Come on.
A lot of people thought they go in the whole thing.
My heart wants them to win every year. Well, my head knows.
10 home runs, by the way. 227, 10 home runs for Higashioka.
How many?
The relevant franchise pools. Well said. 75. I'm very sorry, Jeff.
Still very sorry to hear that, Jeff. Hope you make it through the tough time.
I'm sorry. How many homers did Higashioka have?
10.
So you're telling me
I'm gonna go through. I'm sorry, John. I got to rip you here.
Production of both our catchers and homers.
I got to go through these. I got to go through some of the worst players the Mets have and see. I'm on Spot Track right now, so I have this up. You have Darren Ruff for another year, then a club option.
Why is he... No, I won't let him play. Seriously,
you won't let him play.
I know.
Dan Vogelback has a club option of about 1.5 million. So you
don't want him. See you later.
James McCann is a free agent in 2025.
How much does he make still?
Dude, half your roster is actually a free agent.
Yeah, they have a lot more questions than answers. James McCann is going to make $24 million over the next 2 years.
Why?
$12 million combined per year.
It's disgusting.
Let me try to think of more players. Obviously, well,
I'd rather have an allergic reaction than to watch
James Alex, put up those comments from Jets Masters and Evan, just for Jeffrey.
Of Of course. Hopefully you can stream the Sunday night football game this weekend. It's going to be great. Eagles, Packers.
Cowboys.
Yes. I'm going to be paying attention definitely to that because it's divisional.
Let me just say this. I know we're planning to stream the what do you call it? The Knicks game on next Wednesday. What if we streamed the night before the Celtics and 76ers play? We could stream that game, I think, if we have all an open schedule.
Definitely.
Tuto!
What's going on, Tuto?
From Italy, what's going on, man?
Oh, an Italian. Whoa.
Yes. Italian rugby player at that.
Italiano.
Paisano.
Yeah, just to go through it first, as John was mentioning,
My
DeGrom's
mom's
free
in
agent.
Rome right now on holiday, so
Wow, nice. That must be awesome. So to go through it, obviously McCann is covered for the next few years. Alonso's here for the long term, so is McNeil, Lindor. Escobar, I think, has another year on his contract. Nimmo is a free agent. Ruff is going to be here another year. Dan Vogelback's has a club option for next year, as I highlighted. Chris Bassett also has an option for next year, which is a mutual. DeGrom's a free agent next year because he's going to opt out. Who are your other starters? You got Tyler McGill, Max Scherzer, and
Carrasco.
Peterson.
Carrasco and Peterson. Dude, you got to spend some money. If the Yankees are stupid enough to let Judge go, I think the Mets should go after him. I would hate it
That's a
because
no.
I'm a Yankee.
I don't get me wrong. Judge, anyone who says Judge is an MVP this year, first off, don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Dude,
Wait, what?
What?
Wait, if you said that he's not an MVP?
Yeah, if you said he's not the MVP this year,
Okay,
don't
I'm sorry. I was about to.
Hey, no. Judge is the MVP.
Good, John. Good, John.
Well, obviously, I would love for him to be part of the Mets. Like, I'm pretty sure every franchise would want Aaron Judge on their team, but I don't know how many years he wants and how much longer he's gonna produce at a high level. Because if they sign him to like a 10-year deal, right, and this could be Mets, Yankees, whoever's in on him. I know the Giants are in on him. Even rumors the Red Sox, although I think that's just a false flag. Don't think the Red Sox will actually get him. But whatever team is in on him, they're going to have to think okay, is anyone else going to offer this guy a 10-year deal? Because I don't think the Yankees I don't think anyone really wants to give him that kind of length. I think that's going to be the bigger issue because we all expect he's going to make well over 300, maybe even 4, but we'll see who gets him. But I would definitely take him in a heartbeat. Where you would play him, that would be a question to handle because you could obviously put him in right field or Marte in center, or you could do vice versa because they both have experience playing. Personally, I would put Judge in right just because he's got a cannon of an arm. But
your legs don't wear down like his in center.
No, yeah, that's true. But yeah, other things the Mets could do that I'd love to see them do, upgrade the starting pitching, man. I know that it's supposed to be, this fantastic rotation, but they proved me wrong. Like they were not good at all in any big game. Go after a guy like Carlos Rodon. Crazy as it sounds, go after friggin' Ohtani. He's gonna be a free agent soon. What do you have to lose? Billy Epler is the guy that got him to the Angels. Like, do your magic. Go get him. Go big or go home at this point. If we're talking about Judge, Ohtani should be in the conversation too for when he's a free agent.
Right. Tudo says, Big Boss Alex, you guys should get BT Sports Rugby or Sky Sports Super Rugby. We'll be live for a big match on Sunday right after the Giants game in our time zone. So, nice, Tudo. Judge right, Marte center, Connor left, Nimmo walks.
Do I want Brandon Nimmo to walk? It would depend on the money. If he asked for too much, I'd say goodbye. But if he was at a reasonable contract, he improved a lot defensively this year, and he is a very good. I'd say He's a good table center and trend center for a leadoff hitter. He doesn't have like elite speed, but he can get on base, and he can help wear pitchers down, and then that's important for a leadoff position, in my opinion.
Yeah. Tony says touchdown Devontae Adams. Jacob says years is the thing with Judge. I don't think it'll come down to money. Yanks will give him the money. He just wants the years, and that's the issue.
I got the game on now. That was actually a big play.
And he says, read the poem. The poem says, it's Q3. There's no Mets in place except you and John. Set him up. Donald got a little story you ought to know.
Interesting, because I know he loves Donald singing.
Yes. They will, Luca, be there, but their main focus will be an ace to pair with Max. Hopefully the Guardians win it all. That would be an interesting one. 7-0 Raiders. Carrasco and Walker are both free agents. Yep. I hope the Guardians win it all. I'm all about Commanders Bears. That's going to be the worst ever Thursday night football matchup, and we'll be watching the Yankee game. So, good. I won't be paired on that. I just hope, go Bears, right?
Good luck to you and the Yankees in the playoffs. Good luck.
All right.
Thank you, John.
I'm saying good luck to you guys. When I see Brian or when I hear from him, I'm not saying good luck to him.
It's weird. I'll say this.
He tortured me, and he's the only reason why I somewhat want them to lose, just because of him.
But here's the thing, though. Luca literally brought this to my attention yesterday. Best 2, 3, 4 lineup is Arenado, Judge, Goldschmidt, and then MH says Frank Sinatra. Here's the thing that Luca brought to my attention yesterday, and creds to him. He was posting Mets memes. How can he do that when he has a Scherzer jersey?
That's right. See, now.
And you know what? As well, I contacted Brian yesterday. I said, are you ready to give up on Matt Rhule yet? He goes, yes, he should be coaching a high school team. This morning he gets fired.
Well, I kind of wished he said that about his the QB he loves. Mr.
What did I say about Matt Rhule 2 weeks ago?
I've been right this whole time.
I swear, if I have to hear him say that Baker Mayfield's the guy one more time.
He got injured.
I know he did, but now, I'm saying when he's healthy,
Yeah, no. He threw a pick 6 yesterday. Sad ending to a great season. Keep spending. Absolutely.
It is a very sad ending to a great season. Good season. Great teams actually go a little far in the playoffs. Good season.
They also don't choke 10.5 game leads in the division.
Yeah, no, I don't accept that. You know what? The one team I hope loses, I hate Atlanta. I hate them so much. Every year they're good. Every year, and it's so annoying. Please, I don't even care if it's Philly.
They're a really well-run organization, and they do things the right way.
No, I hate them. I hate them. I hate them.
That's right.
Philly. I don't care if it's San Diego. I don't care if it's LA. I don't care if it's some team in the American League that meets them in the World Series.
They don't really sign free agents. They just develop from within and do it brilliantly.
Vaughn Grissom, Michael Harris, Spencer Strider.
The only reason why the Mets won 101 games is because they got a trillionaire owner to come in and just buy everybody. But it's the Braves that actually put together a real roster.
Most of their players are drafted. It's funny, they lost their best player, and it's still won 101 games with Freddie Freeman. That's incredible.
Yeah, because they got a young nucleus, Max Fried, as I said, Michael Harris, Spencer Strider, Vaughn Grissom. Now you need a young nucleus. Obviously, you have Nemo if you can re-sign him. You need Mark Vientos and Francisco Alvarez. That's what you need, the young nucleus.
Brett Beatty, yeah. We need these guys to pan out. They've been doing great in the minors. Next year, they're going to get their shot. Maybe not.
Time out, everybody. According to our buddy Rob from Pinstripe Chronicles, the Yankees put Giraffe Neck Mark in the playoff hype video. Giraffe Neck Mark.
I guess it was to doubt the Yankees.
So see this shit.
You know what? If I have to pull it up, I'll share the screen right now. Let me just pull up.
I want to say it was to doubt the Yankees. Fuck that guy anyway.
Apparently, per Tony, he was making excuses as to why the Mets lost.
Who?
Giraffe Neck Mark.
What did he say?
Oh, no.
I couldn't tell you.
Well, tell him to stop talking. There's no excuses. They lost.
Jacob says, bro, they're good at locking up the young kids, Acuna, Albies. You know they're paying Albies $7 million and 35 million over the next 7 years. You know how fucking cheap that is?
Albies didn't even play this
Oh,
year.
cheap, my God.
All right. We're ready.
What is this? Oh.
This is the Yankees postseason hype video. And action.
There's no Aroldis Chapman.
You could use a lot of adjectives to describe the Yankees' 2022 season. Some would say it was unexpected.
I don't love what the Yankees did this offseason. I don't really know if they got a lot better.
This division's loaded, guys, and to me, the
That
Yankees
guy.
are the third best team.
All my Yankees fans out there, you should be upset.
I don't even think the Yankees are going to make the playoffs.
If you're the Yankees, you need pitching, but what they have now is not enough to get them a ring.
Hey, I was there, okay?
First 3-home-run game of his career. What a performance by Severino. Cortez with a no-hitter through 7.
And Taillon is perfect through 7.
They've won 45 out of 57. You can't get any better than that.
But after silencing the critics with a first half for the record books, you could just call it unprecedented.
All they do is win, 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 no matter what. 11 in a row.
Powerful.
That is a missile! Matt Carpenter! Monster!
Joe Davis.
That has gone out of
Where's
the
Judge?
ballpark. Wow!
Clutch.
I have something. I'm waiting till he shows up. Not Judge, though, which I find interesting.
And becomes a hero. He ties it with one swing. A grand slam.
Yeah, fuck off.
Historic.
There we go.
62. BALK. Case closed. As Garrett Cole now passes Ron Guidry.
And
Was that it for Judge?
Diversity showed
Like
up.
8
His
seconds?
team got
8.5, actually. 8.9.
But the journey is not finished, because the ultimate goal for which we play for all year still remains. And with the strength of all 26, we push forward in our quest for 28. So even though it's been a great season, there's one way to describe it best. It's just getting started.
Donald doesn't look happy. I need to know his thoughts here.
Let's get our thoughts on this. I know it's we did this on purpose because of Giraffe Neck Mark, but seriously.
Me, nonplussed. Completely nonplussed. First of all, why is Michael Kano doing the commentary there? I think he would have been better. One, Aaron Judge getting 8 seconds. He was the entire team. A lot that hype video looked like it was more of a fuck you to
It was.
fan
Think
base.
about it.
Because the very first name we heard was Josh Donaldson, grand slam. Josh Donaldson had like a couple of home runs at most all year long. So just don't try and make this a big fuck you to the fan base, man. An IKF grand slam and all that stuff. It was like, oh, Brian Cashman put this thing together himself. Give me a fucking break, man. Aaron Judge put this team on his fucking back.
I know.
And he deserved more than 8 seconds of that 2.5 fucking minute video. He was the entire ball club. But this is all this Yankee narrative. It's the fans are idiots. Brian Cashman's a genius. And I think the reason why Aaron Judge only got 8 seconds is because and Brian Cashman fucked up by not extending his contract. We're going to get into that later. But I'm nonplussed by that video. I think it should have been Michael Kay, because Michael Kay has been doing the build-ups to all the games all year long and has been really good. Certainly Aaron Judge stuff. I think he's got it for me. So I think he should have done it instead of Ryan Rucco. And also, I think the video could have been phrased better than
Constructed.
fans are fucking idiots. How about Thanks, fans, for selling out every single fucking game for the past fucking 80 games, or 162 even. They sold out every fucking game. So don't make it the fans are fucking idiots. The fans have been there rooting for your fucking ball club. The Mets couldn't fucking sell out half their fucking stadium, half their games. So I think I think this narrative of the Yankee fans are fucking idiots by the Yankees themselves sucks. Don't like it.
Nick Tyrell was the one who created that video, for anyone who didn't know.
What?
I'm dead serious when I say that.
He's a fucking Yankee homer. That's why. That dude is
to be fair, I literally just figured that out.
That dude is a straight Yankee lifer, and you had him, bro.
Because he's the guy who's a part of the social media team. That's what I figured out.
No wonder he's a fucking homer for the Yankees. He's a fucking Yankee lifer. Does nothing to criticize. When they need to be criticized, all you do is just stand by the Yankees. You know, I'm not going to get. I'm not going to rank because this is John's segment. I'm going to be fair.
It's okay.
I'm surprised Donald was so unfazed by the video.
What, were you excited by it?
I mean, like, it had its moments.
You don't see my point that it was a massive fuck you?
I see what he was trying to do. I also found it weird and also a little telling that, like, they only included Garrett Cole when he made history.
Yeah. Look, what did you think about the video? Am I overreacting?
I'm a little sour. I'm a little sour myself. I'm like, okay, like it's a hype video. Obviously, it doesn't mean much to some, but cool. But it's all spin because they posted the Yankee haters out there. The draft neck marks. The Yankees are not going to make the playoffs. Like, let's be honest, everybody. We kind of had those opinions ourselves.
Let me say this: Nick Tyrell in his own video on his personal platform included Luka in it.
Yeah, this is what he deserves. A big fuck you. But anyways, Donald's right because it's like, okay, we won 100 games, won the division. We did this, and that. But what about, just curious, why are we not the first seed in the American League? Oh, that's right. We took off games in July and August. They won't mention that, though, because they're trying to promote their own narrative. And that. Thank you, Tony. Exactly. The 2-month collapse was there. Absolutely 100%. So Nick Tyrell and any of those company boys making those videos can go fuck themselves. Honestly.
Yeah. How many hype videos have content creators of the team that they root for as some sort of used as in a negative connotation? I've never seen that before.
No, I've never either. That should be for like the fucking, I don't know. I'm not trying to include my own team or your guys' team. Like the Jets or Giants, if the Giants and Jets go somewhere this season. But I'll tell you this. Remember at the beginning of the season where they had that little hype video post? No narratives, no excuses. Where is that?
Yeah,
remember?
You're right.
Do you guys?
I gotta agree with Donald on this. Not only they only showed Judge for like 10 seconds. How about they showed the best pitcher in your staff, Cortez, and they only talked about his like no hitter into the 7th. Like he was like your fucking.
That's true.
Your workhorse all year. Like he was better than Cole. He was the best pitcher you had. Like give him some love.
And obviously, and I didn't expect them to say thank you, fans, but to not even show the fans.
Yes, that is interesting. It is interesting because
they were booing at the time in July and August.
Yeah, maybe, but the truth is, these Yankee fans showed out all year long, man. They sold out almost every single game. Every game I went to, even if we went to a last place team, that place was packed to the gunnels. The Mets couldn't sell out their playoff games, for crying out loud. And I'm not ripping on your Mets. Well, I am, but I'm only partially ripping on your Mets. The truth is, why are the Yankees not thanking their fans more? The fans went all out, and it's expensive to go to the fucking stadium.
So, Donald, I have like the MLB, like the attendance report they put out in 2022. The Yankees are third on the list at 40,207 average for their home games. They're only behind the Cardinals and Dodgers, and the Mets are sixth. The only other teams besides the top three that are ahead of them are Atlanta and San Diego, and the Mets had 33,000 on average, 33,308. So
I think
that's not a sellout.
That's not a sellout.
No, but I think it's maybe a bit of a positive spin there. There was a lot of empty seats. Every Met game I watched, I saw like entire freaking sections empty.
It was more packed. I've been to a few Mets games. They were much more packed. Like, believe me, like I've seen games where I used to see games where there was barely anyone there.
Right.
Because no one would want to watch these jokesters play. But it much better in the past, but like I'm waiting for like that dire crowd. Like, come on, get to 40,000. Like,
I mean, isn't that what we always say about MetLife? It's like never sold out, and the opposing fans always come in.
Weird yesterday, so I don't know when we were going to get to the Jets, but I watched it on a game on TV yesterday. Half quarter of that like fan base was like Dolphin fans. Like I could like spot out like the blue shirts. I'm like, wow, like it was shocking to me. Like I imagine like, you know, now we're starting to win some games. Like, oh, maybe we do get some more fans, but it's like it's really weird.
Yeah, I mean, to go, I'm going to read a couple of comments after this, but I know somebody brought up recently in the comments, which kind of sparked this. Joe texted me. Joe, obviously, John doesn't know Joe or who he is. He's a guy that used to work for my network at N1 News TV. He texted me. He's like, "You want to go to the ALDS game 1?" I said, "I don't have the money for that." And he's like, "Well, you know, you won't have it as a memory then." And I'm thinking to myself, "Listen, Joe, I love you, guy, but I'd rather spend money on the Giants right now because they're kind of a more sure product." And listen, look, playoff games
they give you something you can believe in,
right? Where you know the Yankees, kind of have to show me something a little bit. And I'm not trying to exhume this like negative energy, but we're just saying what we're feeling. And I'm not telling anybody how to feel on this show. They just say their opinions. Donald was obviously very upset with the hype video because he thought it was more spin than anything, which, once again, I do partly agree with Donald. I'm not going to lie. Tony says they should have included Sox, Arizona, Alex and myself debating a fourth place finish back in March. Well, as I said, that guy who made the video, he, on his personal account, basically screenshotted one of Luca's tweets.
He ripped
saying,
if you want to be like, over dramatic or whatever, you could say he kind of ripped this entire podcast. But I don't give a fuck. Let my screenshot get attention. I don't know, man.
All right, you see the anger in you? Let it out. Let it out.
Yes, Luca. Let it out.
I'm the angry one. I'm not. For some reason, it's not John right now. It's me. But regardless,
the Yankees were on spin.
I'm more upset than anything, but
I wouldn't say the Cole is the main attraction. I wouldn't say that. How about they show some commercials they provide on the Yes Network? I mean, they also show AC Milan commercials, which the Yankees have bought. Yeah, what about that 2-month collapse? It should have showed more highlight moments. MH says, Stacy's mom, she got a good QB. Maybe just be the Jets will set us free.
There's some joy.
At least Zach Campbell wasn't in the video. Well, Zach Campbell, all he's known for is catching baseballs, not really making takes. Miles Straw, ALDS MVP. If he does that, I'm screaming at the Yankees. Cole looks like Michael Landon. This is Michael.
We haven't seen Jack in a while, so I want to say what's up to him.
Pretty sure he's another Orioles fan. Oh, he's an actor. I could see some resemblance.
All right.
I just want to see if I got to any more. Alex, hopefully you and Luca don't go on any playoff games with Joe because you guys are bad luck. As I said, I mean, I don't really want to spend the money, and Luca just disconnected. So there's that. But as I said, even if I had the money, I wouldn't need, like Donald, for instance. If you had the money, would you go to a Giants game? Would you go to a Yankee game right now?
Well, Giants game.
There's the point. So
I wish I still had an option to go to a baseball game with my team. Well,
I guess you appreciate the small things in life.
Yeah.
Big Boss Alex, our next Giants away game visit, which is Tudo and his team, will be January 8th at the Link We hope you'll show up and enjoy our mass destruction show in the stands. 220 diehard Italian rugby players will show. Good luck, Tudo. Try not to get arrested.
I don't know. Like, Tudo's obviously trying to convince you to go. I'm going to try to convince you to go to week 18 between the Dolphins and Jets in Miami. I might just have to go to that game, especially if the Jets are close to playoff contention.
I might go to the November 13th Giants game. That's either against the Texans or the Lions, maybe. I know I'm definitely going, or at least put my mindset to go to Washington. And when Donald comes up, I think we've discussed going to the Colts game, which is right after Christmas. Actually, on New Year's Day. Jack Crick says Orioles are always going to be sex and fiddle in Baltimore. The Ravens are the only birds that matter in this city.
Ooh.
Interesting. I would go to a Jets game. So
yeah, Tony.
I mean, he did kind of comment in a positive light to you guys and said that he doesn't like the people hating on the Jets for their win.
You want to segue into that?
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say we could either segue into a Yankee playoff talk because we were on the baseball subject, or we could talk about the Jets. I mean, where do you want to go?
I just want to finish off with Jets because I know John doesn't have long to stay on here, and then we don't have to rush everything. So, first of all, I want to say cheers to John once again.
Hold up.
3-2.
Where's my victory? Yes.
3-2, over 500 in 5 games for the first time since 2017. Alex, please roll the clip of the salty Dolphins fan.
This game was freaking bullshit. The Jets barely escaped with a win today against our third-string quarterback. But congratulations, Jets fans. You barely beat a third-string QB. Would you like a participation trophy? I swear, just by being at the game, you can easily tell Jets fans are not used to winning often. Because they celebrated this win as if they won the Super Bowl. This Jets fan base is so pathetic. Everybody knows that this was a fluke win by the Jets. Y'all know damn well that if our entire team was healthy, we'd destroy the Jets. Jets fans, y'all will always be a poverty franchise. You'll never be on our level. Have fun at the bottom of the division. Feds up.
I will just say this.
That went on far too long. That was absolutely horrible to watch. Who is that fucking lunatic? He needs sectioned, for one. 2, do people actually watch that fuck?
I gotta know what? No, hold on. I'm gonna mute my mic for a second.
Wasn't Tony the guy who showed it to you, Luca? So it's yes. I will say this before Luca goes on to find this guy's name. You wouldn't be in that position with unhealthy players if your medical staff knew how to do their jobs.
Or here's a better thing. Right? Maybe not in the first play of the game. Pick up the blitz from our corner who rocked the shit out of Teddy Bridgewater. Man, that was a massive hit.
So that guy's name is Tyler Tarabakia. 13,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Even his name sounds like how he sounds. Ugh.
And the guy has like 400 followers on Twitter. His little caption or whatever you want to call it under his profile is like still trying to figure out how to use this app. So the guy's clearly stupid.
Okay.
He lives in New York.
Oh, he lives. Oh, I'd love to see this fucking guy. I love to tell him in his face how much of a bitch he is because he's salty. Oh, if we had the entire team, everybody talks about the Jets with the ifs and buts and candies and nuts.
It'd be Christmas.
Exactly. The if. See, you're playing the if game now, which we usually do. If the defense gets a stop on the third down in 2011 AFC Championship game, if Sean Green doesn't get hurt, if the Jets don't turn over the ball 5 times, you're playing the goddamn if game. Just accept that you fucking lost in a blowout and get mad at your team. Don't get mad at us. Don't get mad at us. We went through some bad shit. And for all these people out here devaluing this Jets victory right now, saying, oh, they beat Skylar Thompson. They beat Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. They beat Jacoby Brissett because the Browns were stupid. A win is a win any given Sunday in the NFL.
Since when did a 4-score lead become barely beating us?
Exactly.
He won by 4 scores. That's not barely beating them for crying out fucking loud.
It's because it was
off them yesterday.
It's because it was 17-19 heading to the fourth quarter, and then Jason Sanders misses the kick, which eventually – how about this? How about your kicker makes the kick, and then maybe that's the turning point so you win the game? But no, he misses the kick, and we rush for 5 fucking touchdowns, which I haven't seen ever before in my life.
Luka, how many bad penalties did Dolphins have yesterday?
The fucking 3 pass interference penalties were bullshit on us. Fucking sauce. All three corners got flagged for pass interference. And they were all bullshit.
The one thing I'm actually angry about. Listen, those penalties are okay. I understand if there's contact made when you're defending someone. If a guy touches you, it's not pass interference. I'm tired of seeing that fucking call, and it's the what? Why is it when the ball is thrown out of bounds? Correct?
Yeah.
Why is it when the corner touches you, that has an impact on the play? Makes
100%.
Zero sense. No sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And, it's all these little idiots on Twitter, the Anita Marks, the Landlerder. I don't care. We started a backup quarterback for the first 3 weeks of the season. We're not getting any. We are not getting any remorse for that. We are not getting any remorse for having a ton of injuries last year. Because this is the national media game. They do the same shit with the Knicks. Okay, it's same old Jets if they lose, but if they win and they're 3-2, they beat basically nobodies. That's how it is. You can't win and you can only lose. But I don't care about the national media. I want to get into the game. So, first off, 5 rushing touchdowns by the New York Jets. That was their entire offense. Breece Hall, breakout game. Michael Carter finished off drives with 2 touchdowns. Zach Wilson had a rushing touchdown. Braxton Berrios at the end of the game had a rushing touchdown. So I know the game was built on the rushing attack, and that's what our offense kind of is. They are run to set up the pass. They are a ground and pound. But Zach Wilson, honestly, John, I thought he had a solid game. He looked like a veteran quarterback out there. 14 to 21, 66%, 210 yards. I thought he was more accurate in the short passing game and quicker reading the field. What are your thoughts on Zach Wilson's play?
I thought he did pretty fine. Everyone's gonna look and say, "Oh, he didn't have any touchdown passes yesterday, or he didn't really make any big plays." Well, I'm like, well, not every game you're needed to throw for 400 yards, of
course,
or make like these flashy.
The Jets have the running back in the back. They have the running backs in the backfield now.
He's. I have to say he's been very impressive in terms of making the smart play. I don't really think there was a dangerous pass that he threw yesterday.
No, not one.
There wasn't one that was like, oh, it's nearly picked or anything like that. He's smart because he likes to find the guys in the flat, and he understands we got these 2 kids. Carter had the 2 touchdowns at the end of the drive, and Breece Hall, man, what a freaking game for him. By the way, he's on my fantasy team, Alex. Sorry, but
shit, that's why I got blown out.
Yeah. But no, Breece Hall had a fantastic game. Credit to the offensive line too. And credit to LaFleur and this coaching staff because he's finally realizing, we are better when we can run the football and we use the running backs in the passing game because this offensive line is not the greatest pass blocking line. We still have plenty of injuries. Dwayne Brown played his first game. My God, some life was put back into me when I saw that. I really thought this man would never play for us.
He's playing with the torn rotator cuff, by the way. So that's technically, by technicality, that's a season-ending injury. Before I continue my point, guys, I don't want to leave you out of this. What did you guys think of Zach Wilson's performance? I'm gonna start with Donald.
Well, he's been doing fine this year, man. He's been turning things around. He's getting better week on week. And obviously it was more about the running game, but he did his job.
I think it's very game manager-esque, and that's not a bad thing. Talking about comparing performances from Zach Wilson last year to this year, he was pressing a lot last year. Towards the end of the season last year, he was obviously better. He was more of a game manager, and I think that's what he's continued to be this year. I don't mind that if he grows into a mid-tier, mid-level quarterback, top 15 maybe by the end of the season. I call it a success. Alex, what are your thoughts?
thought he had some nice zip on his passes, not over zipping it. Definitely some impressive throws, though. Definitely some impressive throws throughout the game. Obviously, it was hugely segmented by the running game, and not knowing they had over 100 yards at one point, I literally told you, why don't they just stick to the passing game? It looks like the running game is not working. And credit to the Jets for sticking to the running game because they got over 100 yards in the running game.
Yep.
But, Zach Wilson played well, and that's pretty much what I got to say on that.
We were dead last in rushing attempts going into this game across the NFL, and we just hit the Dolphins, which they didn't know what was coming. Brees Hall, here's his stat line. 18 rushes, 97 yards, a rushing touchdown, 2 receptions, and 100 yards. You want to do the math? That's 197 scrimmage yards. So he was phenomenal. So we're going to move on. Sauce Gardner had a very good game, although the pass interference I thought was bullshit, but that's regardless. Recorded his first career interception of Skylar Thompson. Great view of the ball. I think he was playing zone and just came over and saw great vision. And forced and set the tone for the game when he tackled Teddy Bridgewater in the end zone. Obviously, the pass was incomplete, but he threw it to a non-eligible receiver. Intentional grounding, safety, 2-0 Jets. So he is continuing to play elite, and that number 4 overall selection continues to be so worthy. And I don't think, I'll be honest, I think some people, like when we selected Sauce, are looking back and saying, maybe we could have drafted Kayvon Thibodeau. Not that he's saying he's bad or anything, but it's like we have an elite corner who's going to get better year after year. DJ Reed played very well as well. Jets secondary.
They held Hill and
I was just about to get to that, actually. 70 yards combined between Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, receiving-wise.
Neither had over 50.
And it wasn't, what I like, John? It wasn't one of those, it's not one of those, they had a lot of chunk plays. It's like, all right, 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 4, maybe another 10-yard pass. It wasn't like fucking 35 yards or 45 yards. It was very limited stuff. So give the secondary credit. No Mike Gesicki whatsoever. He was invisible.
They used the backup tight end on that trick play that they ran.
Yeah, Durham Smythe. I'm surprised they didn't use Gesicki a lot.
I thought that would be a big factor. But credit to this defense, man. I know I was getting on them. You guys, Luca, I know you had to be getting on them early this year. But man, some of these guys have stepped up. Sauce was excellent yesterday. He really is like the real deal. And DJ Reed, he gets overshadowed just because this Sauce is a kid that's doing this, and Sauce is going to be like one of the top tier corners in this game. People are going to start putting him on notice, and we got to give him his respect. Coming soon. How about the defensive line of Franklin, Myers, Williams, and Lawson? All three played big. Lawson had that big sack, which Quinn Williams picked up for a fumble. And he almost scored a touchdown, which is great play. Some other guys.
Also stiff-armed Tyreek Hill. I had a huge bright smile on my face as I saw the replay. I'm like,
it's not really hard for a man like that to do that, but yes, nonetheless, that was fun. I think Jordan Whitehead had a really good game. Made some big plays on the run. Had some big hits. Quan Alexander too. Another good game for him. So, credit to them, man. They held it. I know the excuse is the Dolphins are on the third stringer, but they still had pretty much almost their, other than the quarterback, and their I think their left tackle got hurt or right tackle.
Armstead. Yeah, Teron Armstead.
Yep,
Armstead got hurt.
Everyone else is pretty much healthy.
Yeah,
it was still an intact offense. And they're not a scrub team. But
no,
we just punched them in the mouth.
Yeah, Raheem Mostert was kind of destroying us for the second and third quarter. So you have that. To me, the defensive line wasn't consistent, but they showed up when they needed to be.
Yeah, no,
when they needed to show up.
There were times where I'd say in the middle of the game, the pass rush it kind of evaporated a little, but then towards the end of the third, early in the fourth, you started seeing them get some plays. I think Franklin Myers had an excellent game.
He did.
He redeemed himself after that ridiculous penalty he took 2 weeks ago. Or no, sorry, last week. But
No, it was against the Bengals, John. It was when he hit Joe Burrow late.
So it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Lawson. I thought of Lawson. They both had ridiculous penalties. What a shock.
So you have the defensive line, the offensive
How about
line.
how AVT has played 3 different positions?
Oh,
yes. 3 different weeks.
Yes.
0 sacks, 0 quarterback hits, 0 hurries at right tackle yesterday. He is a fucking Pro Bowler this year. Nobody can say anything else.
No, he's the real deal.
Left tackle, right guard, all this year. And left guard last year, but which he was pretty good at. He hasn't played center, which I'm kind of surprised he hasn't, but because all the injuries, but 0 again. I'm gonna read that stat line again.
0, 0, 0.
0, 0, and 0. And last week was 0, 0, 3 hurries at left tackle against Pittsburgh. But phenomenal. Deserves to be a Pro Bowler. Besides that, Carl Lawson pass rush win rate. This was his best game. 6% win rate week 1. Week 2, 0%, which I don't think that makes any sense because Lawson had a sack in that game. Week 3, 27%. Week 4, 21%. Week 5, 47% pass rush win rate.
Yeah,
awesome.
They took advantage of a bad Miami offensive line. The offensive line, only 2 sacks yesterday.
Only 2.
That's not horrible. We can't complain.
Again, especially how all these rotating pieces are coming together.
Brown got his first game. I think they started at right guard Herbig.
Yeah, Herbig's been awesome. Keep him there. Keep him there.
Let
me ask you this, John. Do you think that potentially Vera Tucker fits better as a tackle, or would you slide him into guard it?
The way he's playing, I don't see why not. I mean, there's no we don't know the word on Becton. We don't know the word on
it's a question mark.
Fant right now. We're hoping Dwayne Brown stays healthy. Played decent his first game. Didn't really see a problem with him. Yeah, man, just keep him at tackle. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Let's see. I'm not expecting them to win against the Packers.
I'm not either, but we can play in that game. We can play competitively.
That's a competitive game. We're gonna see what we can do there. And yes, Jets mess. Quan did step up. Yeah, he had some big.
That hit on 4th and 1. I think they handed the ball off to the one guy, then they did a backwards lateral.
That was so
stupid.
Confused on
that was pretty stupid.
I was like, what? Because I really thought they were just going to do a fullback or a halfback dive. And then I saw the reverse lateral. I'm like, what are they doing? I'm not complaining, but what are they doing? Why would they?
Stupid team.
So, anyways, this is where I got to go to my Giants fans. If Donald's still there, if Alex is still there, well, Alex is obviously still here. Donald, we're facing the Packers next week. Give us some keys to win next week.
Well, first of all, it's to limit their running game. That's the first key. And really, I would go after their interior offensive line. It isn't very good. Those are the 2 main areas for me. Also, really, they're kind of struggling to move the ball other than Lazard. Dobbs has had his moments. It's really Lazard. If Sauce Gardner can shut down Lazard, I think they're going to really struggle to move the ball. I wouldn't put it past the Jets to shut down the Packers. I'm not impressed by the Packers. I think they're an average football team. I think they're made good because of Aaron Rodgers. I like their defense, but not unduly. I think the Giants moved the ball very comfortably.
Yeah, very well.
Certainly in the second half with good coaching adjustments. So, yeah, I think those are the keys. It starts with limiting their running game. That's what the Giants did. That's how the Giants ended up going on top.
Thankfully, we have a good interior. And I think me and John talked about the rotations last week. Quinn Williams played about 70+% of the snaps. So his snap count is going higher. I'm expecting, as Donald said, Quinn Williams and JFM inside to dominate. That's what I'm expecting. Sheldon Rankins too. So I'm not even gonna lie to you. These next 3 games are winnable for the Jets: Packers, Broncos, Patriots. So, Alex, what are your keys for the Jets?
I want to read some comments real quickly. First, Hayes says overrated. Trade James
Hell
McCann
yeah.
for John.
I would trade James McCann for Luca's headset, okay?
The running game opened the passing windows for Jones, unleashed Saquon, get interior pressure on Rodgers and run the football. Nice to see Gardner get his first interception. Blob Becton will never play again. As Miz called him a fat hippo, Quan stepped up. Waddle and Hill were not a factor at all. Shouts to Daniel Berry, 14-0 Raiders. Definitely.
Now 17-0.
Golden Girls. Alex, we signed a receiver and a linebacker today. I don't know about the linebacker. I know Robert Foster, obviously.
We signed Robert Foster?
To the practice squad.
Okay.
The Golden Girls approve of Zach's play. Brees Hall, baby. Touchdown, Jacobs. I just won my fantasy week, slopping 973rds. 4-1, baby. Luca is going to set up a grudge match with the guy and send Alex out to meet him. Oh, my God. Bad shit for 20 years. I think the Jets will sweep the Patriots this year. That's very confident. He has a video of himself at the game on Sunday as well, meeting the Dolphins guy.
Not
Alex,
another Bills guy. Sorry. Robert Foster, another Bills guy. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he actually, to tell you a story, he actually dominated the Jets one week. It was week 10 of 2018, Josh McCown versus Matt Barkley, and he just wiped the floor with the Jets. I was so pissed off watching that, but go on.
At least he's 6'2". That's at least there's a little bit of height.
Johnson days.
Tremaine Johnson. He couldn't cover Robert Foster worth a shit.
He couldn't cover me and you in a wheelchair. Literally, he couldn't.
Hayes says, Alex, next time you're wrong about the Giants, you'll have to do play-by-play of a cornhole tournament. Okay. Jets kicked the shit out of the Dolphins. Ravens versus Giants. I'm ready. It should be a good game. Jack is a Ravens fan, so looking forward to his feedback. Keys to, well, first of all, you have to see if the coaching fucks itself on the Green Bay side, because they totally abandoned the run in the second half, which gave the Giants the ultimate victory. They stopped the run. They were working our linebackers, but they didn't result back to the run. Definitely try to get some holding penalties. We had fucking Walmart Cordero Patterson and Darius Slayton on the field, and we were getting constant holding penalties on the defensive side that basically eliminated sacks.
Walmart Cordero Patterson.
His name is Marcus Johnson, who wears number 84. I think he looks like that.
Wait, I want to actually, because hold up. Marcus Johnson?
Yes, look at him in a Giant. If you can find him in a Giants uniform, then you'll know what I'm talking about.
I see it. You look at it.
So I am right. What was I going to say? So obviously, see if the coaching just gets rid of the running game. Interior pressure is very important. I was talking to my Packers guy earlier, who had the podcast with me that I left for on Friday. He said we talked about Royce Newman a little bit. And, basically he wouldn't be playing if Elston Jenkins wasn't at tackle. They did rotate Josh Nijman and David Bakhtiari at left tackle. So take care of that on the edges, but also as well, interior pressure, I think, is going to be the one to kind of solidify whether the Jets take it or not. Hey, John, I submitted your info to the Giants training staff. They need another sideline massager.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
What? Where is that coming from?
John, you didn't see the video, did you?
Of Darnay Holmes?
Oh. I was really confused for a second what he was referring to.
Why did that go viral? I didn't see the big deal in it.
Because of the way it looked.
I know what it looked like, but I think it's kind of unfair on the trainer who's just doing his job.
I just question why would you who videotaped that and why?
The question is, why did he have his ass cheeks showing? Just my question. If it was for a reason.
What info do you have on me that needs to get submitted for that?
I mean, of course, it's tongue-in-cheek humor, whatever.
I know.
Literally. Why would you say that, Luca?
Did anyone see the photo of Buck Showalter putting a hand on DeGrom's ass?
Yep, I've seen that quite a few times.
There's also the picture of Daniel Jones's cut wrist and then Feliciano's ass red.
Oh my God, I did see that.
They're having way too much fun in London.
Oh my God!
Just like just like the anti-Packer chant.
Shove their fucking cheese up your ass. Let's have some fun for Texans defense, baby. Finally showing up for a full game.
I already gave your Texans praise right at the start of the show. I said credit to Tony's Texans.
It wasn't enough, Donald. He wants to hear you
Really not.
Preach them.
Now, Panthers fans, before I go back to Luca, Panthers fans are a little excited because not because of the Rhule firing, but because Sean Payton said on Colin Cowherd's show the Panthers' job is intriguing.
Oh, God.
Back to you, Luca.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously went over the keys with you guys. You know, you guys did a very good job against the Packers. I said, you know, prior to the season, I said this was an automatic loss for the Jets, kind of, because, you know, it's Aaron Rodgers, it's that defense, but they look so susceptible. They look so vulnerable. And you guys just you kind of exposed that. You know, Daniel Jones had no receivers except Darius Slayton. You had Marcus Johnson, Richie James playing. And the fact that that defense could not stop them, or at least try to handcuff them, is like absurd. It speaks to overratedness. The Giants were protecting the pocket for most of the time, and there wasn't, from my observation, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, there wasn't much pass rush. And then you guys ran the ball. And if they stopped the pass play, you're running the ball with Saquon, and he got yards.
Okay,
so I think this team is pretty vulnerable. I'm not trying to say, we'll win next week. I think we have a good chance to win next week.
I think they took the Giants for granted, definitely. So
plus they're coming off jet lag too.
Yeah, so the Giants as well. So here's where I'm going to put that disclaimer out. Now, if you get offended, you can leave. I made a bet with myself last week that if the Giants took a victory in London, that this entire Giants segment would be brought to you by me doing a British accent, which I don't like doing. But my team won. So first thoughts, Donald.
That's an interesting British accent. You might need to work on that, man.
Don't be like South African.
I was sounding South African. Okay, where do you want me to start, brother?
First thoughts, my man.
First thoughts, my man. Oh, dear. Okay. Well, the New York Giants had a pretty good day, I thought. They were a trifle interesting. Certainly got in amongst the Packers' asses. They also had a cup of tea at Buckingham Palace, and it was all very interesting. The king certainly likes the Giants. No, okay, so it was really about Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, really. Daniel Jones is a warrior. Very, very proud of him. And Saquon Barkley, what I loved about his game was that when the game in the first quarter, he was being completely shut down. They basically brought the house on him, and they keyed in on him, but he didn't lose like momentum. He took every couple of yards here and there, kept fighting, and then finally he broke through. And then after that, it was the Saquon Barkley show. He was doing some insane PlayStation moves, one ankle breaker move, which was freaking insane, where he absolutely killed the Packers and defensive lineman. There was a lot of really amazing plays on defense. I thought a good day for the rookies. I thought Dane Belton made one fantastic play. Bellinger was awesome, as he's been basically awesome all year long. Timon Fox had a couple of really good plays, undrafted, and Mr. Relevant T. Crowder was good, and also I thought that Thibodeau was playing with one arm because he was being held a lot. But he had a ton of pressures. And, although it didn't show up on the stat sheet, the pressures were there, and he made a couple of big plays too. And my main man, Jihad Ward, who is very much Wink Martindale's guy, he had a good day too. So did Jalen Smith. Really good day on defense. Once again, it was all about Wink Martindale. His adjustments at halftime, I don't know what he says at halftime to these people, but my God, they pitched a shutout. And the week before, they were unstoppable on defense. It's like at halftime, whatever adjustments they make is unbelievable because the second half, they basically torch the opposition. And a lot of it is down to coaching. Kafka has been doing a phenomenal job. Wink Martindale. Dable is turning water into wine. Really is. He's working miracles out there.
Coach of the year. My vote.
I think he's a headliner. I think he headlines that race. So if I'm going to offer my Giants because I saw a lot of the game. I'm going to offer my take.
Go ahead, Luca.
Anyways, what a game. Obviously the Giants were down, 14 points in the second quarter. And I'll tell you what, this team has a ton of resiliency. And this team, no matter the talent, they quite clearly have a differential in talent as opposed to the Packers. The Giants were playing with practice squad receivers and bottom-tier guys. But I think Daniel Jones showed some Giants fans that he can overcome adversity. I'll be honest with you, that's the first time he's ever done that in his entire career. He couldn't do it with Joe Judge and his staff. He couldn't do it with Pat Shurmur. So he has a coach in Dable and Kafka that can draw up plays for him in the offense to be successful. And that's why I think people are starting to change their mind on Daniel Jones, saying, you know what, maybe bring him back next year if he plays this well. Because I think this trend will continue. Again, we all said before the year, he's going to be he's going to be played, his performance is going to be under a microscope, whether people like it or not. But now he has showed you, and we all question too, what's acceptable for this coaching staff to keep him another year. And my question is to you two. I know Alex is going to be speaking the British accent. What week and what amount of consistency? Like, what week do you decide? What time? Oh, now I can't talk. What time period do you decide in the season that you can bring Daniel Jones back possibly? I know Donald's a very anti-Jones guy, and he's been complimenting him. But I want to hear Donald's thoughts first.
That's a really good question. I don't think it should be decided during the year at any point. I would look at the playoffs. If we make it to the playoffs and see how he does. It's very much a week-to-week basis. But what I'll say about Daniel Jones is I've certainly grown a newfound respect for him as the year has gone on. I didn't rate him at all going into this year, and he is a different quarterback. And Brian Dable is, and Kafka, of course, are really working on him, and he's cut out a lot of his mistakes. He's seeing the field better. He's reading the play actions better. He's doing a much better job with screens and play actions and short field accuracy. And he's even seeing the field a little better. He's also seeing the pass rush better. And he's doing whatever it takes to win. He's still very much a game manager, but he's got a heart of a lion. He really does. He's a fighter, man. He never quits. He's been getting pounded. The offensive line did a great job this past game, but the previous weeks he was getting the freaking shit kicked out of him, and he got right back up and he led the team and doing whatever it took. The fact that he was playing on one leg yesterday and he was still running like his head was on fire, charging into people, taking hits, getting first downs, running, didn't even look like he was slowed down at all. He was doing that with an ankle injury. That man he's got a big heart. And whatever happens the rest of the year, I will always respect him for what he's done this year. And there's every chance that the Giants get to the stage where maybe they win 10 games and they're out of the quarterback or the elite quarterback race, and then go, you know what? Maybe we tag Jones and give him one more year and then play it another year, because he's probably earned that. But what I'll say is, I said on Nerding Out Sports, is at the start, maybe 2 weeks into the season, I'd say he had about a 10% chance of coming back. 90% chance he was gone, right? And then he has worked so freaking hard week on week on week to get better. He's cutting out the turnovers, and the Giants are winning games because he's cut out the turnovers. And that was the big thing. It was really about cutting out the turnovers for him because he can move the ball. It was just cutting out the dumbass mistakes, and he's doing it the last couple of weeks. And the Giants are finding ways to win games, and he's finding ways to win games. The best thing I'll say about him just before I close off my little section is that when Saquon went out, the Giants were up against it. And Daniel Jones put the team on his back. And he did whatever it took to get the team down the field. Very smart plays, perfect throws all the way down the field. Giants score a touchdown. They did that without Saquon Barkley. They did it with Gary Brightwell as your running back. They did that with just Darius Slayton as your wide receiver. He deserves a ton of credit. He really does.
John, any thoughts?
Not when you have that accent, but no, honestly, if we're just talking about the Giants as a whole, how about Saquon Barkley in the year he's had? I know I said Dable's my coach of the year, but Barkley might be the comeback player of the year. I have to say this is the first year, maybe other than his rookie year, where it looks like he looks more decisive in every run he makes.
100%.
Like this dude is just like he's not timid anymore. And that was I don't mean to interrupt, but that was a big hit that Adams just took. But no, every run every time he gets the ball, it seems like he's making something happen. The defense, it wasn't I don't want to say like outstanding, but they did their job and they got off the field when they needed to. And I'm not I don't want to say I've bought into Daniel Jones yet, but I have to say the jury's still out, but the jury's looking like it's saying it's positive today, because I don't think any four of us had the Giants winning this game last week. Like I'm pretty sure we all picked the Packers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I think before my Giants show, I did pick the Giants.
You did? Okay, well, fair enough. But
on this platform, he picked them to lose.
you were that accent, man. What's it called? No, I'm sitting here eating crow because I wasn't a Danny Jones believer, but he kind of proved me wrong a little yesterday. Oh, and I hope he plays. I hope he plays better and has games like this. I'm rooting for him. Like I want like that. There hasn't been a hope like this for the Giants since Eli Manning was here. And I'm not saying that Jones is Eli Manning, but like maybe this could be the year he puts it all together.
Yeah, definitely, John. Let me get through some comments here.
I can't.
This is silly. I picked them to win. Check last week's chat, says he is. Tony says, even I was rooting for the Giants on Sunday. It was great to watch.
That was good. Your accent's getting there.
Tony says, I would rather have Jones at QB for Houston than Davis Mills. Kind of a shocker right there.
That's a shocker.
He says last week, I said last week, give him the tools and he'll be successful.
British Alex, you got to start using some British terms like Pollock. What else terms did I use?
Aaron Rodgers is a pillock.
He is a pillock.
He's a pillock.
What is
you know it, Luca? You know it, Luca?
I'm really sorry, but you've lost the plot.
Alex, you got to say it now.
That's what I've got to
sorry.
say about the Chargers head coach. The Chargers head coach lost the freaking plot. He almost cost them the bloody game there. And Keenan Allen even tweeted, he was like, "What the fuck are you doing, you fucking idiot?"
I love that Gio had to eat his crow this morning. LOL. Well, Gio's a fucking idiot, okay? He's a fucking idiot. Alex, you wanker.
You wanker.
Get some more comments from this great comment section. I think they just took the Giants for granted. I bought a Jones jersey and, yes, a Seals jersey. Well, I feel bad for the second one. I thought Queen Elizabeth died. We are a second half team. We wear you down. Did you see Green Bay's defense in the fourth quarter? Yes, I did.
It was shocking.
Not bad, Alex. Daniel Jones is a beast. He showed me he isn't a quitter. The last 2 weeks, I'm a fan. What about the Falcons roughing the passer call against the Falcons? Such BS. Yes, I went out of accent because this has nothing to do with the Giants. Chargers was unreal. That was bloody awful, that call.
Bloody hell.
But I have to say a few things about my quarterback, Daniel Jones. Okay? I recorded my podcast saying this not in an accent. It will be out at 12 a.m. How do I put this in these British words? In 2020, many of the times, Daniel Jones led the team down the field, and Wayne Gallman put it in the end zone for a touchdown. Daniel Jones's passed Austin Mack against Washington. That ended in a Gallman touchdown. Jones's passed Evan Ingram, 50 yards against the Bengals. That ended in a touchdown by Wayne Gallman. So he leads this team down the field. And trust me, I would rather have Daniel Jones not throwing touchdowns or interceptions. I can't even. Oh, Jesus Christ, that was butchered. Or interceptions. I would have him over Jared Goff, who's thrown 11 touchdowns and is 1-4 on the year. I take winning in efficiency over flashiness. Thoughts?
A+ on the accent.
Great interview Saturday morning. Thank you, Hayes. Paul's a very nice guy.
He's charming.
He's a charming fellow. We had tea. The only complete disappointment for me was I thought the Giants' third down defense was horrible, except for the last two plays. They definitely made some adjustments in the second half. And what I have to say about the Giants' coaching staff is this. They didn't run the ball with Daniel Jones to the second half. They didn't expose that he was fully healthy till the second half. So the Packers couldn't adjust. Them fucking wankers.
No,
this is myself.
What about Kafka's double reverse to Bellinger?
Yes.
That was an amazing.
Bellinger was supposed to throw that, and he just went into the end zone. And let me say this. The Giants are 13th in red zone efficiency. When the fuck did that happen last?
Yeah, they are. They're very efficient in the red zone. They're cutting out turnovers.
Tony says, this accent is driving me nuts. Well, let me say this, lad. The Giants are not getting cute in the red zone. They're just punching it in. They're being creative. We haven't seen that in the last few years, laddie.
Gromit.
And yes, like Donald pointed out, Saquon Barkley. Well, guess what? He left the game. And Daniel Jones, he led the team 90 yards down the field. But the real factor before that drive that put the Momentum in the Giants' direction was Dexter Lawrence's sack. He needs more fucking respect, you wankers. He's a top defensive lineman. And imagine when we get Leo Williams back and Azeez Ojulari.
Dub.
This Ravens game can be very competitive, yeah. But let's go into some more takeaways. Daniel Bellinger is the all-reliable. Not only can he catch the ball at an efficient rate, but he can also block. When's the last time that fucking happened to my fucking team? I can't remember. Barkley was not staying out of that game. Love to see the commitment because they play for their coaching staff. Daniel Jones last week. Saquon sprinted out of the locker room this week. He had a shoulder injury. They had to force him into the medical tent and take his helmet off. Those wankers in the coaching staff. And what's about Darius Slayton? You put him on the field and he produces. PFF had him as the highest graded offensive player. Them stupid idiots.
No, they're in the land of not. They're in the land of not.
Those bloody bastards. But when you put him on the field, he produces. I said in the middle of the game, Jones to Slayton. And guess what? He got 79 yards on 6 catches. That's fucking great. When these guys come back healthy, he needs to stay on the field, yeah? If I hear this accent for one more minute, I'll have to borrow John's straitjacket for work. You're going to hear it, laddie.
That's a really
the
good one.
Giants are 4-1. The bloody bastard.
I can't.
The O-line also stepped up in pass protection. They only allowed 4 quarterback hits, 3 of them from Preston Smith. And guess what? After the Evan Neal sack that Preston Smith gave up, well, guess what? They were spotless the rest of the game. All those sacks that were taken by Daniel Jones, they were holding penalties on the defense. They fucked up. So with that being said, they were spotless in pass protection. Donald, your thoughts on the O-line and their gelling, man?
Oh, God. Can we get back to American?
Oh my god! I couldn't even take the half of that seriously. I don't even know your.
My pants here.
I can't even say your analysis back to you.
Your thoughts, Donald?
I'm just reading Tony's comment.
What the hell is this? Next time your girl is on the rack, give her a kiss on the forehead and say, "Oh, my little." Oh God! Oh no!
Oh
no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh dear!
What the?
Oh dear!
Oh dear!
What
Something's
about
a little wrong.
Cricket?
Yeah.
Cricket? Anybody?
Go to Horny Jail. Tony, go to Horny Jail. Boink.
Do not collect $200.
Yes, go to Horny Jail. We're not letting you out. 24 hours in Horny Jail. No more horny comments, please.
Hey, this is Downton Abbey, Downton Alex. But back to Donald.
Yeah, right. So that accent threw me off so much. Were we talking about the offensive line?
Offensive line and Darius Slayton and Daniel Bellinger.
Well, Darius Slayton really just showed up, man. And that's what I'm talking about, the heart in this team. It's like a next man up mentality that this team has right now. I mean, let's not forget that Slayton was a trade candidate. He wasn't even active in week 1.
Wait, I do have a question. Why was he inactive at first? Was he unhappy? Was it?
No, he's good. It's just the coaching staff didn't seem to fancy him too much.
Look, he looked fine yesterday.
But he worked really hard to get back into the coaching staff's graces. To be fair, and that's what I love about his mentality. Was it was like, okay, well, they're not keen on me right now. Then I'm gonna prove it to them. And he worked really, really hard, and he showed up and showed out. And let's contrast that with Kenny Golladay. Couple of targets, dropped them both. He went off the field and he got hurt, and he's never been seen of him again. Kadarius Toney. Oh, my hamstrings hurt. Oh, my other hamstrings hurt. Oh, my legs hurt. Oh, my back's hurt. Oh, my neck's hurt. Oh, everything's hurt. Sorry, I'm not playing. I'm never gonna play. And he didn't even go on the plane to London. He's not really part of the team, let's be quite honest. And Darius Slayton wasn't fancied, but he just worked really, really hard and got himself back into the good graces of the coaching staff. And he was a wide receiver 1 last night. He is the one guy that can go over the top.
Right.
He can be one guy that can beat man coverage. He's got the speed that can beat man coverage.
He can separate. But going back to Toney, because you mentioned, and I was going to ask about him, because I heard before the game, like, wow, he's not even going to be there at all. So, like, what's the status on him? Like, I know it's his second year, and he's barely on the field.
He's cooked. He's your grandmother's Thanksgiving turkey. Like, Dable doesn't like him. Because the truth is, if he was just legit, if it was just an injury thing, he would be on the plane. He would be as part of the team. He would be part of the whole thing.
Shepard was in London.
Shepard was in London. Landon Collins was in London. He wasn't even part of the fucking team. He was in London. These are the guys who are going to be part of
Giants,
the nucleus of this team. There are people that are hurt that are still traveling. Toney isn't. Why is that? What? His hamstring isn't allowing him on an airplane? Fucking bullshit. There's far more to this than meets the eye. I was listening to Chris Bisignano, who's a Giant insider. He says there's far more to this than just injuries. This is him, man. I think this goes much deeper than injuries. I think that there's something wrong with his mentality. I don't think the coaches like him too much. I think he's done at the end of the year. They're going to find a way to get out from under him, and he's going to have to rebuild his career elsewhere. He's toast as a Giant as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I mean, it sucks because he's got the talent, but he doesn't have the mentality.
Not good for them.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's step into the defensive side. So, before we talk about Dexter Lawrence, don't try to stay with me here.
I can't. Come back to us, Alex.
Listen, if my team has any chance against the Ravens this week, I have to make my bets, and I have to eat my crow, you know? But anyway, let's talk about Kayvon Thibodeau. No, I should not call a tennis match. Well, then again, Kadarius Toney should be in a tennis match because he doesn't want to be a part of a team.
He is. KT doesn't want to play. I think you're right. I don't think he does. He spends more time tweeting than he does practicing.
Which is sad, yeah. But Kayvon Thibodeau, if you look at the film, and actually I went on Giants Facebook, which is bloody awful. Bloody awful. Worse than Giants Twitter. And somebody said Thibodeau's college reputation is catching up with him, that he's a lazy player. You fucking idiot. Watch the film.
Lazy.
Many inside moves against the left tackle, multiple pressures yesterday, multiple pass deflections these last few weeks. Give him a fucking chance. He is a great player who's invested in this culture. It takes time for him to grow, to learn the game, and come back from this injury. And he was also doubled a couple of times.
That shit is bloody mental, isn't it, bro? It is, bro.
Bruv.
It is, bro.
What's going on, bruv? He was held all day. Says Hayes, I agree with you, lad. So, Thibodeau's eventually going to get a sack. I do agree with that. But give him a chance. Giants Facebook is the worst thing to be invented. Well, I can't say that. Yankees Twitter is actually pretty worse than that. But back to my accents, yeah. So, any of your thoughts on Kayvon Thibodeau so far? No, he's not getting on the stat sheet. He had a 25% pass rush win rate, if you want to look at the analytics.
Well, that's it. And he was also being held a lot. The officials called nothing for the Giants the entire game. So it really says something that he was doing that with one arm tied behind his back, essentially. Multiple deflections and multiple pressures. That's what I'm saying. If you just look at that's a problem with people in certain aspects of the media and maybe Twitter. They just look at the box score, or they're not really looking at the play. They're looking at the play, but they're not really looking at the play. If you know what I mean, they're only looking at the end result rather than how we got there. So, for instance, they're missing the fact that Thibodeau's pressure caused Aaron Rodgers to throw an incomplete pass or Aaron Rodgers to get a ball batted down. They're missing that aspect. And so, the box score doesn't show as a Thibodeau sack, or a quarterback hit or anything like that, but the pressure was there. So that's what it is. I really think that he is going to be an elite pass rusher in this league. I think he's learning the game. Is the only aspect he needs to improve on is coverage. He's not too good in coverage right now, but in terms of pass rush, it's right there, man. And it's pretty exciting. And it's going to go from strength to strength. Remember, this is his second start. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but he's already well on his way. He's made more of an impression than a lot of people are giving him credit for.
So before we go to Luca, I just want to say something because Hay is newer here than some of the people. If you referenced last year, in December of 2021, on December 27th, when we had Donald on with another co-host of ours, he did a bunch of accents at the end, imitating an Australian Jets fan who wanted them to tank. So that was far worse than my performance.
Have you got that?
What was that, Donald?
Have you got that clip?
I unfortunately do not.
Oh, that's extremely disappointing.
Very
Things are looking pretty glum.
Didn't that force me to say the term obliteration because it was obliterated that accent?
Yes.
That was obliteration.
That's right. What is obliteration?
And then here's this accent from Luca.
A long three-pointer from Boston, and he makes the three-point shot.
What was that?
And his voice cracked in that.
What was that?
What's that?
Oh, bro.
I'm about to pee myself, lad. Speak American, damn it. No, you anchor, not yet.
Oh.
But Luca, what are your tips? What are your thoughts on
What are my
Tibbs?
tips? I think he's slowly coming to his own. Obviously, it's his second start. And the fact that he's getting after it. I think you guys said he had like a 25% win rate on pass rushes, I think. He's getting there. He's getting there. I think he's going to be a big star for you guys. So it's a matter of time. And I don't like these Giants fans coming out there saying he's already a bust. I think that's jumping to conclusions. That's seeing the tape. He'll get there, I promise.
What are your thoughts, John?
I really actually been impressed with Thibodeau. You know, it's a funny thing how he gets compared. Well, when you get drafted, right, you kind of get comparisons to the players you're drafted around. And the first guy people think of is Aiden Hutchinson with the Lions, who at times hasn't looked good, or hasn't looked bad, but he's not like blowing everyone out of the water. And I could say the same things with Tibbs. Like it's a developmental process. Like not everyone's going to have an immediate impact right away. Like you said, because I did watch the game too. I really think he got held a lot. A couple of your pass rushers did, whether it was him, whether it was Dexter Lawrence, and they missed a lot too. I don't know why there was no flags being thrown, but no, he did a good job of trying to get to Aaron Rodgers. You don't expect to really sack Aaron Rodgers that much. He doesn't really take a lot of sacks, and that's that. Like for anyone that's criticizing the guy, like it's week. Oh my God, it's week 5. That was just finished.
But listen, the Giants have a good history with well, especially Scottish guys. Lawrence Tynes, our Super Bowl winning kicker, was from Greenock in Glasgow.
He doesn't
Scottish
sound like
guy.
it.
Yeah, he was a Scottish guy. If you look at his Twitter page, he very much mentions his Scottish roots, born in Scotland. And Jamie Gillan, the Hammer, the Scottish Hammer, and Graham Gano from Arbroath in Scotland as well. So, and then we're forgetting about Osi Umenyiora, our Ring of Honor pass rusher, who was from London. So we've got a lot of history of the old Brits, and so they got a lot of support over here where I am in the UK. So I'm going to go into a Scottish accent for Graham Gano, fucking legend, man! Get in there, you fucking bastard! And of course, the Hammer of fucking Scotland, man, Jimmy Gillan! Punting that boy, fucking yards, man! Get it, fucking laldy, man! Brian Dable, he's got balls the size of Glasgow, man! And that's...
Donald, you sound like a Scottish person trying to push out a dub.
Hey, man. But something I want to mention about Thibodeau. I mentioned this in my post-draft recap. If he doesn't get a lot of sacks, look, it's a lot of pressures and hurries. Don't be mad if he doesn't get on the stat sheet, yeah? Because this is what Wing's scheme does. Outside of this scheme, I mean, Matt Judon had 14 sacks last year with the Patriots. He didn't get that many with the Ravens because it was all about pressure and quarterback hits, all analytical based. So if you want to overreact to Thibodeau, why don't you go fuck off with some tea?
Look, and John, what did you guys think about the clock, like basically not working, and the Giants when the Giants were trying to kneel?
That was
Wasn't that a bit weird.
That was absurd.
I've seen like clocks. Like obviously there's some sort of malfunction. Like it happens in every like sporting event. Like it's common, but it was like really, really strange when you see that. I think I can't remember what stopped first, and when the Packers getting the ball back, like they added like extra time, and I'm like 20. What did they get? Like 25 seconds? Was it or am I?
Yeah, they did. It was freaking insane.
I was like, what? Like why? Like it was running down. Like
so, I'm just trying to remember. There was the Packers had 2 timeouts left, right? When the Giants had the ball at their own 10 or whatever, and it was victory formation. They only had 2 timeouts left with 1:05 left on the clock, right? So they called the 1 timeout, Jones kneeled, and then they called the 2nd timeout when Jones kneeled again, and that was at the 1 minute mark, and then the clock stopped instead of the clock moving because they already called their 2nd timeout at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So there was about a 10-second moment there where the ball where the clock didn't move, and then the officials didn't do anything about it, and then Dable was going fucking nuts. He was like, "What the fuck are we doing here?" And there was a lot of confusion, and in the end, the Giants had to take a safety, which they wouldn't have needed to have done had the clock worked properly. They added another 8 seconds after the safety, and it was all really weird. It was very much like the officials were like, "Oh shit, we got to give Rodgers one last chance here. We didn't expect the Giants to win this game, so let's give Rodgers one last chance." Because I mean, I'm no fucking clock expert, but I'm pretty sure the clock should have ran out by the time Gillan punted.
Yeah.
There should have been no time left on the clock. Yet they got about fucking 12 seconds, which is fucking strange.
I'm trying to understand where the 8 seconds magically came from. The land of fucking Narnia over here.
The land of naught.
The lands of naught.
No, I mean, they could have fucked us, man. What if Rodgers fucking
converts to Hail.
Converts to Hail Mary. Or there's a pass interference, and then they get the ball at the fucking 1 yard line or something like that. And like anything could have fucking happened.
That's
and
pass interference on McKinney was bullshit, yeah.
Well, that was another one. I think the officials were very biased in that game, and it was the first game I've seen all year where it was just blatantly Packers oriented.
Across the league yesterday, there were some really bad calls, and like,
of
course,
I don't always want to harp on the refs, but like, dude, like, it's
that Grady Jarrett roughing the passer was bullshit.
I can step out of my accent here. They called another bad roughing the passer tonight, apparently.
Yeah, because you have to watch the replay. Let me see if I can pull it up on Twitter.
I can't. I'm trying to pull it up, but
Texans were the number 2 defense in the NFL this week, fellas. This is probably the highlight of the year for me, so I got to ride the wave, baby. We held Etienne and Robinson to combine 120 yards rushing, which is real good.
Tony's desperate to get his Texans involved. Yeah. He's like, please talk about my Texans.
Here's the roughing.
Another thing was about the officials.
So the roughing.
Remember what about the bullshit illegal formation penalty when the Giants were trying to score and take the lead late in the fourth quarter, and Dable looked like he was ready to fucking body slam the official. He's like, that is fucking bullshit. And that's what I was saying. It was like numerous times there was some really dodgy fucking calls coming, and none of them made sense.
You know, let me say this, Kevin Kugler said on the broadcast, and you would see this on the field as well. Aaron Rodgers kept talking to the head official. That says something.
Mm-hmm. But
Alex, if you could pull this up.
Because I have the game on in the background. I just had to look up the players that were involved. Chris Jones had a strip sack, right? He hit the ball first, pretty much. And yeah, if you could replay it. And they called that roughing the passer.
That's bullshit.
What? It doesn't make any sense.
Let's replay that.
He hit his arm first.
He had the ball. He has the ball in his hand.
Yeah, he ended up with it.
And again, I'm going to come out of my accent for this. He's literally not trying to put his body weight on him. You see him resisting to fully body slam him.
But if you're going to go sack a quarterback, where would you like them to fall in every situation? Because I'm sorry, the one Grady Jarrett had yesterday, like, that was a textbook sack. And he got called roughing the passer.
Because it was Brady.
Well, I understand why, but like, what would you like him to do? Like, that's horse shit.
Clearly is.
Pat McAfee, this clock has certainly been suspect. So even Pat McAfee was basically saying the officials were biased.
And he's Aaron Rodgers' best friend.
Yes.
He
just basically said that the official leading was biased.
The Brady crap was crap. The
I got
NFL
it.
wants Brady in the playoffs so they can make money. Clock management. I think it was Johnny Holmes saying one more minute. Oh, God, no. Oh, my God.
Boink. Go to horny jail.
Oh, yeah, here's the...
That's one of the worst fucking calls I've ever seen.
It is.
What is he supposed to do there?
Literally one of the worst calls
tag
I've
your
ever
it?
seen.
High five him?
Like, in that position, if he was just unnecessary, like Donald, because I have to go back to my accent for this. Did you see that play where Darius Slayton was slammed down and that's 15 extra yards? The Packers,
Yeah.
You remember that? That's a play.
What about when Daniel Jones, it was Calais Campbell, Daniel Jones stepped out of bounds. He'd already completed his run, completed his play. He was out of bounds, and Calais Campbell came and threw him into the Giants' sidelines and hit a bunch of people. And, that was okay, apparently. That's absolutely fine. So, you can't breathe on Tom Brady, but you can throw Daniel Jones into fucking people in the fucking sidelines when the play's over, and that's fine too. So that's why this is a fucking bullshit. Greeny of ESPN said that roughing the passer call is the worst call that he's seen in 5 years of football. 5 years of football is the worst call.
More like 50.
Yeah, probably worse. I mean, it's certainly the worst I've fucking ever seen. It's an
Oh.
absolute disgrace. It really is. I understand that there's going to be a level of protection for Tom Brady, and that's fine because every sport has a level of protection for its star and its face of whatever franchise. But that's fucking disgusting. That is a fair tackle. 100 times out of 100, 1,000 times out of 1,000, a million times out of a million. There was nothing wrong with it. He wrapped him up, put him down, but he wasn't overly fucking aggressive. There was no helmet being hit. There was nothing. It was perfect textbook tackle. Disgusting.
They
Would you
were
like
just
to know a
scared
fact?
because the game got close.
Well, that and Jerome Boger, who called the roughing the passer, was the ref last year when the whole Raiders-Bengals thing happened where Joe Burrow stepped out of bounds and threw the pass, and then they screwed over the Raiders because that was actually supposed to be out of bounds and not a touchdown. And then the referees got suspended for that. That's exactly who the crew is.
He shouldn't be a rough.
What's his name? I'll need to read about this guy.
Jerome Boger.
Boger.
And they just called
then
another
look at this,
bullshit
it's fucking
pass
stupid.
interference.
Because he's a snot when it comes to calling calls.
But you can't convince me that there isn't a level of bias. in
Of
these
course.
There
officials.
is, because it's towards the market.
Yeah, it is. It
It's
really
towards
is.
ratings. When everybody sees Aaron Rodgers and you know what? Let me bring up a point before we go back to the Giants eventually, because I do have some more points to bring up. Someone's brought it to my attention. Maybe you guys agree with this. Maybe you guys don't outside of the Bills game yesterday. Do you think quarterback play is down?
Do I think the quarterback play is down?
In the league right now, other than Josh Allen's performance yesterday?
No, really. I think Patrick Mahomes has played very well this year.
Yeah.
It's just that he doesn't have Tyreek Hill to throw to.
Right.
I know.
Aaron Rodgers has played well this year, but he doesn't have Devontae Adams to throw to. That's affected some aspects, but I mean, Tom Brady's been fine, but his receiver core has been up in the air because of injuries. Godwin's still coming back from hamstring problems. Same with Evans. And then Herbert, his number one receiver, Keenan Allen's been hurt basically all year long. So I don't necessarily think it's the quarterback play that's been down. A lot of it has to do with their number one targets either moving on or being injured. I think that's probably affected play. And also, a lot of it has to do with the offensive line. And let's not forget, defense is up in the league rather than quarterbacks being down. There's been really good defensive plays. We're looking at Sauce Gardner, who's a fucking monster for the Jets. And Dory Jackson's done a good job for the Giants. I think it's more to do with defenses scheming very well, as well as injuries rather than quarterback play being down, because you can look at the Eagles quarterback. He's having a very good year. Lamar Jackson's had a pretty solid year to this point. Allen's been great. Mahomes has been great.
Geno Smith?
Geno Smith looks fucking insane.
Exactly.
Like, who is this person?
I've ever seen.
Who is this fucking guy? I've never fucking seen him before. He's fucking unbelievable.
If Zach Wilson wasn't playing well, I'd say Luka has pain. Tom Brady was caught on camera kicking a D lineman, but that doesn't get called?
No, never. He's like the freaking I don't know.
We all know what it is. Yes, Donald, very good defenses. Just look at the Texans this week.
You guys should ban people from talking about the Texans.
We have fun here. Anyway, some more points about the Giants before we move on. And I could get out of this bloody accent and take a piss at some point because I've been filled up with way too much water. Jalen Smith was the best inside linebacker on the field, and O'Shane also had a strip sack on Aaron Rodgers to finish the game. So there's some good points there. But let me say this as well. He says, "Hey, I'll ban you, sir."
What Tony says, Tony means.
I'm sorry, Tony.
John, I highly recommend getting on Tony's good side.
It was
Yeah,
always
he's.
so
I
good.
think he's also trying to take the piss out of you.
What the hell does that mean, yeah?
It means you're making fun of him.
Anyway, something I would like to go into before we go to our questions and then we go to something else is that Wink on the last drive, his defense was playing with two waiver claim corners. Dory Jackson was out, and so is Fabian Moreau. Nick McLeod from the Bills and Justin Lane from the Steelers were the fucking starting corners. And the Giants held them on 4th down in the red zone. How do we
Lane looks all right. Lane looks okay.
Lane had that big hit on Lane
a couple times, but he got away with it. But he made one good play where it looked like he undercut the receiver. He got lucky because he might have made a mistake because he went all in, and if it was a better thrown ball, and the guy would have scored. But he did undercut it, and he managed to pound the ball down. So yeah, credit to McLeod. He had one or two decent plays.
Yeah, after the holding penalty and the big reception, he tuned up, and then Justin Lane had a big hit on Alan Lazard.
Yeah,
so
I like Lane.
But
Lane
this
more.
defense and Wink gives us a chance to win no matter who we have on defense. Creds to him. Now, some questions to answer, and then we could end off here. Does this game alter anyone's opinion on Daniel Jones?
I think if he continually plays consistently and shows you that dog mentality, like he can overcome like the adversity of a bad offensive line or a bad receiving core, and then when the receivers get back, he plays even better. I think that the tides will turn and people will start like saying he might be back next year, and that might be a good thing.
John?
I want to see more. I want to see more games like this where, hey, you know what? You could be a game. There's nothing wrong with being a game manager in the NFL. People think it's like a bad term. I think it's actually very good. It's a compliment. Like that's one of the jobs of a quarterback, like being a really good game manager. If he can learn how to do that just like he did yesterday, no issues with him. But I want to see it like more consistently. Let's see what we can do against oh God, who are they facing next week?
The Ravens.
Baltimore. Let's see what we can do. It's going to be a tough opponent, but we'll see.
I see some people calling out Eric Bieniemy for play calling. Maybe they miss Mike Kafka.
Kafka is a hell of a fucking offensive mind. He really is. But I think Bieniemy is too.
Scored again, so they are inching their way back.
Yeah, I think they're doing fine. Put up Tony's message there, Alex. Well, no, it did mine. Yes, it did mine. And I'm going to agree with him on that. It did mine too. My opinion has changed on Daniel Jones. At the start of the year, I thought there's not much of a difference between him and Tyrod Taylor. But I think that he's really shown a lot this year, and he's getting better week on week. And also the whole game manager thing. Well, let's look at, for instance, Kirk Cousins earns a fortune, and he's not a particularly good quarterback.
No.
He's got a big arm, but he's got accuracy issues, he's got brain dead issues. And that's kind of similar to Daniel Jones. Like if Daniel Jones reached Kirk Cousins level, which I think he actually can, he could even be slightly better. And look at the Vikings. You give him a Jefferson and a Thielen and a Cook and a Madison, and they're a good team. They're 4-1, right? So if you put the weapons around Daniel Jones and Daniel Jones plays at a Kirk Cousins level or slightly above, there's no reason why the Giants couldn't be a very decent team too next year. So that's probably his level. I wouldn't say it's much more than that, but that's not a bad thing either, because not every quarterback is going to be fucking Patrick Mahomes. It really depends on the draft situation, because I really do believe that CJ Stroud is a fucking elite talent. And if the Giants went all in on CJ Stroud, I wouldn't blame them at all, because I think he's got a far, far, far higher ceiling than Daniel Jones does. And there's a couple other quarterbacks that might have the same higher ceiling than him too, but it really depends. But yeah, exactly. I think Cousins kind of sucks too. I certainly don't rate him. He makes one or two decent throws a game. I think Daniel Jones has the chance to be better than him, if he's not already better than him. So it really depends on how this rest of the year goes. I think we still need to play out the whole year before we make any decisions on him, and see how he handles the big games down the stretch, and see if he can continue to keep the turnovers down. If he does, then we may look at tagging him one more year. I don't know about extending him, but certainly there's a chance of maybe tagging him.
I agree. Tony says there are any teams in the NFL 1-3-1. That would be your Texans. Oh, he's alluding to it.
No, it's an awesome result for the Texans. It really is. It really surprised me. They really shut down the Jaguars, and Jaguars have a very good offense, and Lawrence really struggled. So it looks like Derek Stingley is a steal of a draft pick for the Texans. I think he's really, really good. Because obviously there was a debate between him and Sauce Gardner as who's the cornerback one in the draft. Both of them are cornerback ones as far as I'm concerned. Both of them are very, very good. Stingley's doing a very good job for the Texans. So, yeah, credit to Tony's Texans. So he has every right to be excited about what they did.
Don't forget Dameon Pierce coming up as a
very good point. I'm very glad I got him on my fantasy team.
Are you happy, Tony?
He is a fucking monster. Pierce is a monster.
So before I break out of my accents, Tony says Stingley has found himself. Before I break out of my accents, I want to go into a subject that Donald kind of implemented starting last week. Offensive and defensive player under the radar and surprise team of the week. So I'll go first, and then I'll take a piss break. Anyway, offensive player for the Giants, I'm going to say Daniel Jones. Defensive player, I'll say Dexter Lawrence. Under the radar, I'm going to say Nick McLeod. Under the radar offensively, I'm going to say Darius Slayton. And then for the Jets, I'll say, obviously, Breece Hall. Defensively, I'll say Quentin Williams. And then underrated for the Jets, who was the... Now, I know I'm going to ask, and that's how I'm going to get my answer. But who is the lead receiver other than Hall?
Yesterday, was it?
Might have been Corey Davis. It's any of those three, honestly, because they spread the ball around.
Was it?
I'm going to go with
Davis or Wilson.
I'm going to go with Corey Davis. Defensively underrated. Let me go with Sauce Gardner, just because Sauce. Surprise team of the week. I'm going to pick my Giants purposely. 8.5 points underdogs. Luke, are you calling in tomorrow's Let's Talk Jets?
Yes.
But anyway, real quickly, I'm going to use the bathroom. That's going to be the end of my accents for now. I'll be right back.
All right, so before I told Saram to get my thoughts, Giants offensive player of the week, I'm going to go – let me see. I'll set the camera view real quick. I'm going to go Daniel Jones, honestly, because I think he carried the team while Saquon was out. So I'm going to give that. Defensive player, I'm going to go with Dexter Lawrence. Underrated player, I'm going to go Darius Slayton. For my team, the Jets, I'm going to go with offensive player of the week, Breece Hall. Defensive player of the week, I'm going to go Carl Lawson, actually. An underrated player, I'm going to go with DJ Reed because I think he had a very good game in coverage. I'm going to go to Donald. Oh, let me see. Underrated team of the week, I'm going to go with the Texans.
Okay, me. The Giants offensive player of the week goes to Saquon Barkley. This team goes as far as Saquon takes them. Let's not forget that it was the game. The play that changed the game was Saquon's wildcat formation, where he took it 40 yards. That was the first real big play that we made the entire first half, and then that gave us some confidence. So, and then of course the big catch from Daniel's pass, and then he did the ankle breaker, and then he was away 50 yards. And then, of course, the Wildcat formation to score to give us the lead when he was already hurt. That man is a warrior as well. This team goes as far as Saquon Barkley takes us. He had a big game as far as I'm concerned, so he was our best offensive player. Defensive player, Dexter Lawrence is pretty much the consensus. Underrated, well, everyone's already mentioned Slayton. I would say Slayton too, but considering everyone's already said that, I'm going to say Jihad Ward. And for the Jets, well, first of all, Hall, offensive player, not a question about that. Sauce Gardner was the best defensive player, no question about that for me. And the underrated, I'm going to give it to Barrios.
Okay.
Braxton.
He had a very nice return off the safety kick.
Yeah. What do you have?
Yes, he provided something on special teams. Plus, he scored another touchdown. He's been in his small roles. He's been doing the job for the Jets. He really has. They need to find more of a role for him because he looks like he could be a potential game changer for the Jets. So, the team of the week. Well, I want to give a shout out to the Cowboys because I did not have them holding the Rams offense to 10 points. That really does deserve credit, but it is the Cowboys. The Texans, got to give them credit. No one had them, but it's still the Jaguars. So I have to go with my New York Football Giants. No one had us, and it was their best win in 10 years. Best coached game since the Tom Coughlin era, no doubt about that. It's our best win in 10 years. So there's no doubt about that. For me, the team of the week were the New York Football Giants.
John.
All right. I guess we'll start on the Jets side of things. Offensive player of the week. Pretty sure everyone said it. Breece Hall, 100 yards on the ground, almost 100 yards passing, 197 scrimmage yards. Had a bunch of big plays that really helped out this win. Defensive player for the Jets. I'm going to go with Sauce Gardner. The very first play of the game, he caused a safety. Then he had the pick earlier. He's been lights out this year. And
that changed the game.
No, yeah, I have no fear that he can't cover anyone when he's given the challenge. In terms of my underrated offensive player for the Jets, going with Elijah Vera Tucker. Dude has literally changed every fucking week his position. And Luca read the stat line 0, 0, 0 because he's a beast. I love the move to go that Douglas got him last year to move up. He's proven that. And the underrated defensive player, I like the game that Quan Alexander had.
Yeah, he was good.
He stopped. He had a few good stops yesterday. He's the big hit. I think he's like the best hitter on the team. Like watch out if you're in the open field. He's gonna level you. He really is.
Sick.
Yeah, no, I do. I'd like the pickup when we got him. As for the Giants, I'm gonna give some love to Daniel Jones as the offensive player of the week. Again, he didn't beat himself. He trusted his guys. He allowed the offense to keep moving on. He allowed Saquon Barkley to run, and he went up against Aaron Rodgers, and he had a great game against him. Like, what else can you say? Like, give him his credit this week. Defensive player, it is consensus. Dexter Lawrence has been a beast. Whether it's stopping the run, whether it's getting to the quarterback, excellent. The Packers were under 100 rushing yards. and they have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Like, that's not something easy with those two guys. Like,
amazing, because it might be the best running back tandem in the league.
right. In terms of underrated offensive player of the week for the Giants, I'll give that to Darius Slayton. I think he should start more often. I know the guy has the talent. I don't know what the fallout was with the coaching staff, but hey, you know, gives Daniel Jones some more help. Because there's no way that he can go this game was nice, but you know, you go a full season with guys like Marcus Johnson, Richie James, and David Sills, like it's not going to really help. But like Slayton's a good player, like he can play on a team. In terms of underrated defensive player, I think I'm gonna have to go with Jalen Smith. Had a really good game. Yeah, I'll take him. I think he's a very fast player for you guys. And he was good. You know, when he first started out back in oh god, where did he start out? Was
Dallas?
Dallas, right? Like everyone was talking about him being like a superstar.
Yeah.
He might not be a superstar, but like he's still a very good player. And for the underrated team of the week, you know what? Just so I don't get on Tony's bad side, because I don't, I'll say his Texans, okay? Tony, I'm with you.
Great.
By the way, Troy Aikman's getting killed on Twitter.
Why?
Because he said this quote about the whole roughing the
touchdown.
Yep, that's a touchdown for the Chiefs regardless.
Oh, wow.
Troy Aikman said on the telecast, you know, it's time that the NFLPA and the NFL, you know, have a conference next week and take off the dresses of this whole roughing the passer thing and the quarterbacks. People are taking that as sexist.
Oh, fuck
What?
off.
No.
It's misogynist. It's all this different.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, my God.
Oh, fuck.
Can you repeat what he said? I'm sorry. Take the dresses off the...
I'll give you the exact quote if I can.
Yeah.
That's more woke shit.
Here's Don's reaction.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. This is more woke cancel culture shit. Really is.
It's disgusting.
Like, it really is, man. It's just like, calm down. Not everything has to be an insult to some community. You're allowed to say something. It wasn't aimed at women. Fucking shut the fuck up. He's into football. He's talking about football.
Okay, so I know Donald's mic is speeding up, but regardless, you know, a lot of people are taking that as offensive. So, you know, somebody said, how about this? Troy Aikman not once mentioned gender. If you're assuming the gender of dress wearers as being women, that's offensive then.
Unbelievable.
Just, like, why do they, like, have to, like...
They got to drag it out.
Like, didn't, like, ESPN and, like, the NFL learn, like, maybe you should kind of keep, like, political issues, like, out of football? Didn't the ratings take a hit when you put it on? And
well, no, I mean, that's just...
not really political. That's kind of societal.
I mean, societal, political, you know what I mean, though. Like, the whole woke cancel culture, like, that's what I mean. Like, really? Like, that's where everyone's going now? Like, come on. It wasn't offensive.
Not every word has to be an insult.
Yeah. Like,
not every comment has to be an insult. You know what I mean? It really... It's overboard now.
Tony says that Guardians-Rays game on Saturday was the game of the year. My little wankers. The Guardians pitching is going to stir against the Yanks. They have no choice but to start Slayton, and why not? Oh. Tony Clark says, yay, they need to relax. All your audio is jacked. The ratings took hit because they wanted to push the crap.
That's my audio now.
Yeah.
It's good.
All right, guys. I might have to jump off now. Usually I do stay for the full time, but I think I have to head off
Thanks
tonight.
so much, brother. It was good.
Thank you, John.
Soon.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow.
Peace, John. Good night, man.
It's honestly just so fucking. It's not even like where you stand politically. It's a societal issue, obviously. But it's Yahoo Sports just made an article saying what Troy Aikman said was lazy and sexist. Fuck off. He's relating to how about you look at context instead of making everything viral and talk about how soft the NFL is with these quarterbacks. That's the whole premise.
That's what he meant. I can't believe that we're in an age now where basically everything you say has to be studied and gone through with a fine-tooth comb, and anything that could have any vague reference towards anything that's part of this woke movement, you're going to get destroyed and pilloried and put over the hot coals over on Twitter and social media. It's exhausting. It must be extremely hard to be in the media now, because there's nothing you can say where you're not going to have some community offended.
Of course.
And it's not the case that I'm not a full supporter of everybody's rights. It's not that case. It's just simply that this cancel culture thing has to stop, because all it's going to do is it's just going to basically tear people down, destroy people's livelihoods, and none of them are meaning anything by it. There's no insult. Troy Aikman was not offending women. He wasn't offending any community. Please stop. Stop. Cancel culture is worse than any insult I've ever come across. It really is. It's doing the exact opposite of what it's meant to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's no longer about protecting people's rights. It's about making sure that people aren't just destroyed, but they're poured over the hot coals, torn through Twitter, destroyed in social media, and
canceled, don't have a livelihood.
Exactly. That's what it's all about now. All that's going to happen is you're just going to cancel everybody, and all that's going to be left are people that's afraid to say anything, and it's all just there's nothing in society anymore. It's a freaking joke. It really is.
It's because it's so easy to get, it's so easy to get the clicks and get the easy likes and all this, instead of actually reading into context and like, oh, this is not offensive at all. This is just relating how it's soft. I don't know.
Well, I must say, before we jump off of this, and I think we got to move into a more broader NFL subject like the games and stuff, cancel culture is literally Yankees Twitter.
Tell me about it.
It's literally what it is. It's 300 accounts ran by 100 people. And then they run around trying to dox people and make fun of people. Meanwhile, they wouldn't say that in real life. And they don't read between the lines. But people just go along with it and say, hey, this account's cool. They made a cool baseball take. That's what it is. Me and Donald were literally having a discussion yesterday about it.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, Yankee Twitter is more of a popularity contest, but Twitter is very much woke central. You know what I mean? It really is.
It's a cesspool, no matter how you look at it.
All right, so Luca, do you have any other NFL topics we could get into before we get into our game picks?
I think we could just slide right in, honestly.
All right, Donald, I know you have our game picks on paper from last week.
I sure do.
And fucking shit, because on my other laptop I have the records, but I could actually check, or maybe I could have Luca sign into my other laptop.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Donald, you could still give the records.
Tony, hey Donald, what are your pronouns? I don't want to assume. I'm not getting into that stuff because I'm not wanting to offend any community, anybody. Everybody deserves any kind of voice. I'm just saying, Troy Aikman didn't say anything wrong as far as I'm concerned. Sorry. Okay, Luca, you went for the Broncos. Alex, you went for the Broncos. I went for the Colts. John went for the Colts.
Fucking hack. I am. So is Nathaniel Hackett. He's a hack.
I'm glad I went with the Colts. I'm really glad I did. Okay, so I went with the Bengals. Alex went with the Ravens. Luca went with the Ravens. John went with the Ravens.
Hey, so we're all 1-1 at this point.
Okay. And nerding on sports, I went for the Giants. But in this, we all went for the Packers.
So we all take the L.
I went with the Lions. John went with the Lions. Alex went with the Patriots. Luca went with the Lions. Well done,
I'm
Alex.
sneaky with these picks.
Well done, Alex. Well done. I went with the Ram. Well, we all went with the Ram. John actually went with the Cowboys. Good for John.
Interesting.
Okay. We all went with the Chargers.
Okay, that's good.
Won by a thread.
John was sucking up to Tony and went with the Texans, and we all went with the Jags. And John actually was successful. John's killing it this week. Okay. Luca, Alec, and John all went with the Eagles. I went with the Cards.
I went with the Eagles?
Yep.
You know, I actually bet on that game this week because, I obviously try to bet every week on a game. I lost that bet because I said the Eagles over 5.5, and I'm going to take a week off again.
You should just never bet again.
I don't think so.
To be fair, my pick would have been very successful had they had a kicker, and Kyler Murray didn't slide short of the marker. They would have won that game handily. So very annoyed by that because my pick ended up looking stupid. Okay, Alex, you went with the Bucks. In fact, we all went with the Bucks. We've all gone for the Chiefs. That's still up in the air. We all went with the Bills. I redeemed myself with going for the Jets. Alex, you went for the Jets. John went for the Jets. Luca, you went with the Dolphins.
I like to bet against my team.
Probably smart.
Just so they can surprise me.
We all went with the Vikings.
Yep. Okay.
Luca, you went with Seattle. John went with Seattle. Alex went with the Saints, and I went with the Saints. Good. Okay, we all went with the 49ers. And we all went with the Tennessee Titans.
Interesting.
Give me 1 second, doing the calculating. 9, 8. All right. So as of right now, I am 11-4 with my picks. Luca's 8-7.
Hold on a second. 11-4. Who had a bye week this week?
No,
that's right.
no.
There's still a game to be played. Never mind.
Yes.
11-4.
11-4.
Alex crushed it this week. My God.
Luca's 8-7. Luca's 8-7, and Donald is 9-6. So what I'm going to ask Luca to do is go on my old laptop, which is in the box, should be behind you.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So if the Chiefs win, I go to 10-6, and you go to 12-4.
Yes.
And then Luca would be 9-7.
Would he pick the Raiders?
No, we all went with the Chiefs.
Yes. Okay, then that answers your question. All right. Hopefully Luca doesn't break my old laptop. Luca, I'll email you the password. Then you could jump on there and go to the notes page, and we could see what our records are.
I actually had a decent week, although it should have been a lot better. And Carlson hit it. It's 24-23 with 14 minutes left. Good game on Monday Night Football. Sunday Night Football sucked. So boring. till the last minute.
They haven't been picking good matchups.
That's why you're so silent.
Well, did you get to the notes page?
Well, hold on. I'm just typing. I'm using two laptops at once. Anyways, what is it? What is the title?
It should be.
Oh, the records. It starts from like week 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want me to go over exactly?
Final records before this week, obviously. Not week 4, but in total.
Before this week, I was 34-30.
Okay.
Alex was 31-33, and Donald was 36-28.
Okay, so we're gonna do the math on the spot. So Donald is now 45. Fucking asshole. God damn it. 45 and 34. I am now 42 and 40. So we've reached over 500, everybody. And then Luca is 42 and no, that can't be right. Hold on.
No.
Hold on. I gotta redo this crap. I can't.
Of course,
math.
Alex doesn't know how to count.
Okay, so I was on 34, right?
Yes.
And
No,
then
36.
I was on 36, right? And then I gained 9, so I'm on 45. Okay. Alex, you were on. Who were you on before?
31, and I added 11, so that's 42.
42. All right. So how many losses?
Okay. Now I got the straight up math.
Okay.
Me and Luca are tied at a record of 42 and 37.
14, 37. Okay. So the Twins are tied.
We're getting
Damn.
pretty tight.
Tony, Donald has been the king with the picks, I gotta say. I know.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. All right. We ready for game picks?
Week 6. Let's get balls deep in week 6, as they say.
Not like Donnie Holmes.
Oh,
Taysom Hill was a beast. Well said, Tony.
yes, he was.
Yes.
Absolutely insane. Player of the week, Taysom Hill.
All right.
Well, that's right. We didn't even cover the player of the week.
You didn't.
We didn't.
Let's see.
Taysom Hill for me.
Player of the week. Player of the week.
I'd
I'm
say
gonna go
Justin
Breece Hall.
Jefferson.
I'm gonna go Breece Hall.
You say Jefferson.
Jefferson had a really good game. I mean, that's
Okay,
what he
week
is.
6. Here we go.
So we have to start out with a shitty matchup. And as of right now, it could change, obviously. The spread is even for the Commanders at the Bears.
I'm taking the Bears for some reason.
I'm taking the Bears.
So ugly. So ugly. Okay, so
Pen and paper, Donald.
you know what's very interesting? Rivera called out Wentz.
Yeah, I did see that. I
He
did
said
see that.
He basically said that he's got the worst quarterback in the NFC East.
Uh-huh.
I think
He's
he's like
for like over 300 yards, no?
he's top in yards. He's like one of the top quarterbacks in yards, but he's lowest with the quarterback rating itself.
I'm gonna go with the communists for this
All
one.
right.
The Bears are going to win, obviously. Well, it's actually kind of a toss-up. You know, we could. Someone
I'm
could be
picking
right.
the Bears personally.
All right. Next game. This team is the 5-point underdogs. The New York Giants host the Baltimore Ravens. This one is really tough for me. I'm honestly not decided yet. I'm going to wait for
I'm
you.
taking the Ravens.
I'm gonna go Baltimore too.
Yeah, I'm going to take Baltimore. I'm going to take Baltimore.
I think
Do you
they're
have
just
to
a
put
little
on-
bit too strong.
Yeah, do you have to put on the bloody accent even when you're doing
We're
picks?
talking about the
Tony goes
Giants.
with the Giants. All right, I'm going to put your name down for this one, Tony. Tony Giants.
Okay.
Okay.
Next game. 49ers at Falcons. San Francisco is a 5.5 point favorite.
49ers, Falcons, right?
Mm-hmm.
49ers are going to kill the Falcons. I'm really liking what Jimmy G's been doing.
I'm going to take 49ers.
Let's see. What time is this game? 1 o'clock? You know what? Give me the Falcons.
Alex's first mistake.
We'll revisit this next week.
It's a travesty what their coaching staff is doing with Pitts.
Yeah, he just doesn't. Was he not being utilized at all?
No, he's basically a fucking offensive tackle.
Anyway,
what pick did they spend on him again? Was it like 8th or 6th overall?
Yeah, the dude it could be.
I thought it was 4th.
Dude could be one of the best tight ends, like not just the best in the league, but he has the trajectory to be fucking generational tight end. They know fucking using him. He's got the skill set. He doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to, but
Anyway, Patriots at Browns. Cleveland is a 3-point favorite.
That's
I'm
really
taking-
helping.
I'm taking. It's a tough one, honestly, because I'm
Give me
taking Cleveland.
So Cleveland for the two of us and Tony.
Not good.
Tony, who do you have between the Bears and the Communists?
Who do I have? I have the Bears.
No, Tony.
Oh,
He didn't
Forgetting
say.
him involved.
He said tie.
A tie. Okay.
So Donald, it is up to you.
Have you gone the Pats or the Browns, Alex? Sorry.
I got the Browns.
What's the situation with the Patriots quarterback?
Actually, he now switches to the Bears. But I think he could return this week. I'm not sure. I'm still picking Cleveland, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Browns too. The Bears just really surprised me though with that win. I didn't expect them to win, but also blow the fucking doors off the Lions. I didn't expect that.
yeah. No, I didn't either. I thought the
I
offense.
don't know if
was
that's an
better.
anomaly or what. I still don't buy into the Patriots.
Right.
So we'll see. I'm gonna go with the Browns on this.
Okay, next game. 1 o'clock, Jets at Packers. Packers are a 7-point favorite. I'm taking Green
I'm
Bay.
taking Green Bay. But I will say this. I'm gonna let Donald pick first because that's. I'm gonna let him do that.
Shit.
I mean, if it was any other matchup, I would have actually gone with the Jets because they're kind of riding high. But I think Rodgers will be so embarrassed with what happened that he's going to be pissed off. So I can see him taking it out on the Jets. But I think the Jets match up really well with the Packers. I think they really do. They certainly do in terms of coverage and the running game. The more I think about it, they could do it. But I'm still going to go Green Bay.
All right.
What I was going to say was, I don't think the team will win next week, but I trust the coaching staff now to put on a competitive effort. Just going to put it that way.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a tight game. It really is. It's going to be a field goal.
Tony takes the Green Bay Packers. Next game involving Tony's division, Jaguars at Colts Indianapolis 2-point favorites. I'm taking the Colts.
I'm taking Jacksonville personally. The Colts are they're just mediocre.
They're very mediocre. Alex, you've gone with the Colts?
Yes.
Is Taylor healthy?
I got to check that out, actually.
I'm edging towards the Jags.
They're optimistic he can return week 6. So play 50-50.
The Jags were so bad, but then they were really good the week prior. They might be one of those really inconsistent teams where you're just like, on a week-to-week basis, you don't know what the fuck they are.
That's true.
The Colts, we do know what they are. A very average team. I'm going to go Jags.
Okay, this is one that I will get right. Again, like I picked, who was it that I picked last week?
Picked the Colts.
Patriots. I picked the Patriots last week. Y'all be wrong.
Dead.
Anyway.
Okay.
Vikings at Dolphins. Minnesota's a 3-point favorite.
Who the fuck's starting for? Oh my God, can't see this. Anyway, who the fuck's gonna be starting for Miami? Probably Bridgewater, right?
Give me Miami. No, not Miami. Vikings.
I'm going Minnesota. I'm not sure what the Dolphins are gonna do. How the
Everyone's going clean sweep mini. The quarterback scenario was bad. Miami are good. They got a good defense. The Vikings defense suck. But then the Dolphins give up 40 points to the Jets. So, fuck. Yeah, I'm going to go Vikings.
Right.
I just want to say this: the Raiders just got called for holding on a fucking field goal attempt.
That's pathetic. Anyway, Bengals at Saints. Bengals are 1.5-point favorite.
The Bengals are really disappointing me.
I'm going Saints.
I'm going Saints too. I don't know. Like the Saints are, again, as Donald said, Saints are one of those teams you don't know who they are week by week.
Yeah, you don't know who they are. Yeah, I really don't either. So you guys are going Saints.
They did well against the Seahawks. That's what I'll say.
Well, the fact you guys are going the Saints, I'm more comfortable going with the Bengals. Tony? Saints. Okay. Again, I'm going to keep trusting the Bengals until I don't know why. I'm just going to keep trusting them.
This one might be easier. Bucks at Steelers. 8-point favorites for Bucks.
Oh my God.
Make them 10-point favorites against that shitty team. Did you see they're so bad against the Bills.
The Steelers are such a disgrace. They really are.
I find it hilarious, to be honest with you. Because our former co-host Steeler fan friend is like, I'm not really invested in the Steelers. I'd rather watch NASCAR. I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? I've been watching fucking stupid product.
He said he does not get upset anymore when the Steelers lose. Because he knows they're bad.
Like, the Steelers have talent, man. They have a ton of talent on defense. They got talent on offense. What the fuck is going on? They should not be this bad.
They also
have a Giants issue, in my opinion. They have a Giants issue, which means their organization is stuck in the past.
Yeah. But the receivers are pretty good.
They have very good playmakers.
They've got better players than the Giants do. Up and down, they've got better players than the Giants do.
But they are stuck in 2000 with the Jason Garrett offense. That's the problem.
They have a shitty offensive coordinator.
I agree. Their offensive coordinator is terrible.
They have a shitty offensive coordinator. What is also not a good look, as I was reading on my friend's
story. Their offensive line sucks.
Offensive line's bad. And even that, there were players laughing on the sidelines when their team was getting their ass kicked. How much of a bad look is that? And then Arthur Millette ranted in the locker room because of that. To me, like I like Mike Tomlin a lot, but sometimes sometimes you just can't handle the drama.
I love Tomlin, but I wonder whether it's just gone to the stage where it's something similar to Tom Coughlin, where he's maybe been there just that little bit too long, and maybe it's starting to tune him out a little bit. There's no excuse for how bad they are, because they are not nearly as bad as they're playing.
Right.
Like, if they had a serviceable quarterback, then I could see them competing with the Bucs. I don't think the Bucs are particularly phenomenal, but they look completely disinterested. So I'm going to go with the Bucs.
Jets Smith says some bad games this week.
I know, I'm really disappointed because I want to do something a little creative, but I mean, how am I going to go with anything other than the Bucs? So yeah.
Well, here's this game: Panthers at Rams.
The fucking Rams. The Rams disappointed me this week. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, PJ Walker is starting
every week.
It's the offensive line for them. They can't fucking block for shit.
PJ Walker is starting this week, so be wisely.
The Rams' offensive line is killing Stafford. Stafford doesn't have a second to throw. But I mean, if it was any other team, I would go against the Rams because the Rams are bad. But
yeah,
Panthers are worse.
The Panthers are just legit the worst team in the league, in my opinion.
All right. Rams are 11-point favorites. That would
honestly, I'll be completely transparent. I don't think it should be that high.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Cardinals at Seahawks. Cardinals are 3-point favorites. Give me Seattle.
I'm going to go Seattle.
Tony says Seattle.
We're going to go Cards.
Okay, so he's going to be different. Next game, 4:25, Bills Chiefs.
Great game.
Finally.
Love it.
Why is that not a primetime game?
Give me the Bills. The primetime game, by the way, is Broncos Chargers and Cowboys Eagles.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, God.
Well, good thing we'll be watching, most likely, the Yankees next Monday night.
That's true.
Most likely, if they advance to a game
So
5.
Tony's going Bills.
Bulls. I'm going with
I
Bills.
think the Chiefs are vulnerable, but I think just because of the home atmosphere, I'm going Kansas City.
Alex?
Give me the Bills.
The Bills are the better team, and they're also going to be very motivated to beat KC after what happened the last time.
Yeah.
God damn. But I'm going to go KC because I'm a Patrick Mahomes stan.
Sunday Night Football, Cowboys Eagles.
Eagles.
Cowgirls, Eagles.
Give me the Eagles.
How are the Eagles 5-0? That's a really fucking good team.
That's fucking amazing.
That's one team that is not disappointed whatsoever.
Nope.
Ton of talent on offense and defense.
Is it still going to be Cooper Rush?
As of now,
For what
yes.
we know, yes.
Okay. Tony's going the E-Girls.
The E-Girls.
Alex?
I'm taking the Eagles. Oh, wait. Did I? The Texans are on a bye, no?
Luca?
Yeah, Texans are on a bye.
I took the Eagles.
And then wait, Donald, have you made your decision?
No. So the Cowboys shut the Rams down. Only gave up 10 points. I could see them doing a number on Fields, and I want to see what Fields is going to be like under immense pressure from Lawrence and Micah Parsons. They could force some turnovers.
Yep.
Diggs. I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Wow. Okay. Hayes says Kyler Murray fucked up last night.
Kyler Murray fucked up big time. Again, let me down. Because I love Kyler Murray, but he's not the smartest guy in the world.
And then this game, the game we all have been waiting for, the Broncos of the Chargers.
Pick the Chargers.
Give me the Chargers.
I mean,
thank fuck the Broncos are going to come off short rest to face us in Week 7. I want to fucking beat their ass.
Or else you're going to have that TikTok kid, Luca.
If it was the Broncos versus the girls' soccer team, I would root for the girls' soccer team. Yeah.
Slid too early, and Tony says the Chargers. So the teams that are on a bye, Lions, Titans, Raiders, Texans. Those teams are on a bye this week, coming in this week. And once again, we have yet to find out what this game is going to be. So we'll see. With that being said, Luca, would you like to break into a Yankee thing or a Knicks thing?
We could do a little Knicks. I'm not trying to focus too much on the NBA tonight. So, Alex, let me just ask this. Is it confirmed that we could be doing next Tuesday a live stream of Celtics-Sixers?
If the Yankees aren't playing, now the reason why I say that is what if they don't have a Game 5 on that Monday and they're good in 3 or 4 games? That's what I'm just worrying about. But
why would we do the Celtics game? Is that the opening game of this season?
Yes.
Opening night? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
You got my okay. But
okay.
Luca, if you want,
obviously Yankee dependent.
Of course. I'm not gonna deny that. So obviously the team's early 2-0 early in the preseason. I'm just gonna get down some quick thoughts, and then I'm gonna do a few breakdowns. I have some bookmarked little things that I want to share out. Dom, what are your thoughts on the Knicks so far in the preseason? What have you liked? What have you not liked?
So I really like Jalen Brunson. I believed that he was going to be a good signing from the get-go. I'm surprised at how quickly he's adapted. Also, it's kind of clear to me that I couldn't see a system where Donovan Mitchell plus Jalen.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Brunson and then plus an RJ Barrett or Julius Randle would fit in the same
Absolutely.
team. I actually can't see it. So, maybe I still think that the Knicks fucked up that trade, but there's no doubt about that. In my opinion, I think the front office completely fucked it. But I still can't see any fit for Donovan Mitchell with the current setup. So, okay, so we move on. I'm feeling a little bit better about it. Jalen Brunson can ball. He's got a heart. He's got a big heart. He uses his. He's a physical player. He uses his strength inside. He's really good inside. He can hit the three. He's very high percentage from the mid range. Very high percentage inside. And these are all the kind of traits that we need. And he runs the offense, which we've not had since as long as I've been a Knicks fan, really. In about 30 years. We've not really had a proper point guard. So it's really good that we have a proper point guard. RJ Barrett looks like his biggest weakness is he's a very low efficiency player. He's the fourth lowest efficient high usage player in the NBA last year. So it was all about improving his efficiency. And the first 2 games, his efficiency has been much improved. Especially
shooting, his form is a lot better. It's cleaner.
The thing about RJ is he's going to struggle when Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, and him are in the same lineup. He's going to struggle to get involved because that's what I've been noticing. It turns into ISO. RJ's like, fuck, I'm not getting the ball because Julius Randle's ball hogging and he's carrying the ball up the court and he's looking for his shot. And then Jalen Brunson's going to do his thing inside or whatever. And then you're just going to see RJ Barrett go into ISO mode going, right, I need to get involved in this offense here because I've been sidelined for the first quarter. And that's what we saw in the last preseason game. I don't see a fit, but it's nothing to do with RJ Barrett. It's about Julius Randle, which is my next point. There's no conceivable way that I can see 3 ball hogs in the same fucking starting 5. That's crazy.
To be fair, Donald, they use the paint a lot.
They do, and the spacing's terrible. Spacing is dreadful. Julius Randle, along with Mitch Robinson, they don't work together because the spacing's not there. Then when you add Cam Reddish, they're all going inside, and it was a mess. And then Brunson was going inside, RJ Barrett was going inside. There was no spacing. So those are the negatives. The lack of spacing in Julius Randle is my negatives. Because Julius Randle was still a very selfish player.
No, he looked like he was legitimately trying to get his points on.
Yeah.
Friday.
You can see he's trying. You can see he's trying. He's just not that type of player. It's like you're basically trying to get him to unremember everything that he's ever learned as a basketball player to this point. And I just don't see that working.
Again, the problem is he's not sticking to his strengths. He's taking outside jumpers. He's taking these stupid fallaways.
Very bad shots.
Somebody was like, on Twitter, if Julius Randle could put up 15, 8, and 4, this would be a really good stat line. I'm like, dude, do you not read context? Are you aware of the shots he takes in the game?
It's nothing to do with the box score, because if you looked at the box score in Game 2, you'd think, he had a really good game. He didn't. He didn't play within the offense. He got his points purely because he was going ISO, and that's not what's going to help us win the game. The key to this team is Obi Toppin. He is fucking phenomenal. He went beast mode, 24 points, highlight reel mode, doing all kinds of special stuff.
He's also playing on defense. Exactly.
Playing defense. He turns defense into attack in a split second because he plays in transition. I think that the starting lineup, I think Julius Randle could work as maybe a 6-man where you just ask him to come in and get some points. But if you want to look at the spacing on the court, you need to have Mitch Robinson at the 5. I'd have Obi Toppin at the 4. Cam Reddish doesn't seem to fit. I like Cam Reddish as a player, but he just doesn't fit. Should be Quentin Grimes at the
2.
At the 2, because he'd be an undersized 3. RJ Barrett at the 3, and then Jalen Brunson at the 1. I think that would be a good starting 5 because you're getting better spacing, you're getting some defense, and you're getting some 3-point shooting involved as well. Evan Fournier and Julius Randle can come off the bench and get theirs when required. But the next thing is Derrick Rose. He looks good, but how is he going to get minutes?
You got to look at the coach. Tom Thibodeau will find a way. He loves Derrick Rose. He can't he can't fathom playing Rose 0 minutes. Not that it's a bad thing, because Rose still has left in the tank. I don't want the Knicks to completely spoil him, but I think he has a role in this team. It's not like the Knicks
definitely has a role in this team. He's a very, very good basketball player. I'm very worried, and it's a weird worry because if you look at the talent, everyone on our roster is talented. And even though I'm ripping Julius Randle, he's very talented. Evan Fournier is talented. He actually broke our 3-point record. He can shoot. We've got talent up and down the roster, but I don't think we've got the minutes for everyone. How are we going to get Emmanuel Quickley, Jalen Brunson, Derrick Rose, Evan Fournier, and Quentin Grimes, all guards? And we could even add in McBride, who probably deserves minutes as a defensive player. How are we going to get them all the minutes that they need? I just don't see any way we can do that.
You bring up a fair point, and before I get to Alex, I want to give his thoughts first, but I just want to hold it off for a sec. Like, people are saying, oh, start Fournier, this, and this, but the reason you start Grimes is not obviously because defense, obviously three-point shooting too, but like if you start off a game badly, let's just say you're down 20-9 because Fournier doesn't play defense. That's a problem. And then you insert Grimes, and then it's a little too late. That's my worry. But you got to have Grimes start, in my opinion. He did have a full practice today. Alex, what were your observations from the first two games?
Well, let's see. Julius Randle, in my opinion, isn't a distraction, but he just doesn't seem to mesh well with this new type of setup with the first team. Potentially, when we get into the regular season, we have less rotations like this. It could be an issue because of minutes and all that and scheme fit. So obviously that's where it could be a distraction.
Let me just say this. I'm sorry to interrupt, Alex. Julius Randle does not play off ball whatsoever.
Well, no, I mean that's pretty. He doesn't move. He's a statue and all that other stuff. We obviously know. We kind of think what we are going to assume what's going to happen with Obi when he should be with the ones. Obviously, not really going to happen because it's about investments in the veterans and stuff like that, which is pretty basic statement from me. At times, I didn't like. Now, obviously, they're 2-0, so you got to list some of the things they did well. Obi looks phenomenal. Same thing. Jalen Brunson has wowed me a little bit. Derrick Rose looks really good. How are we going to get him minutes? Emmanuel quickly. I also didn't like the pacing at times because the Pacers were making mistakes. We just kept shooting up shots and not taking our time with the ball and actually scoring and being efficient. So, I mean, those are my only really worries and takeaways.
Yeah, we really saw that from last season. Like some of the times the Knicks would just go all or nothing with the three-pointer. They obviously got to minimize that. So let me see if I can find on non-Knicks subject. So this was an article somebody posted about the whole Draymond Green saga with Jordan Poole. Donald, what do you think about it? First off,
so from what you sent me, I think Jordan Poole probably deserved a good punch in the face. I think Jordan Poole feels himself. I think he's been feeling himself for a little while, and I think Draymond Green
knocked some sense into him.
Yeah, I think Draymond Green kind of reminded me who the hierarchy is in the locker room, and he disrespected Draymond Green, and I think that this is only an issue because it's Draymond Green, because he's kind of got this persona, because he's got this kind of loudmouth persona and people don't like him. He's very much a Marmite type of player. He's very much you either love him or hate him. And I really think that if it was a fucking anybody else that punched him in the face, I don't think it would have made the headlines that it did. But because it's Draymond Green, it's like, oh, how could you possibly do that? That's assault. You should go to prison. Give me a freaking break. It happens all the time in dressing locker rooms. I'm sure of it. And from what I read, reading more into it, sounds like Jordan Poole was talking about his contract and that he's Mr.
I got another highlight for you. According to sources, Poole began telling teammates of his plan to use his lucrative new extension to install a pool at his house. I'll call it the Jordan Pool because it's going to be the GOAT. Poole allegedly said, everyone can swim in my Jordan Pool as soon as I get paid. Teammates got tired of the joke, however, when he refused to stop telling it. When Green eventually suggested Poole find some new material, Poole turned to him and said, if you keep talking like that, you won't be allowed in my Jordan Pool. This statement then prompted Green to close his eyes and start swinging. I'm not sure if not sure if it's real, but it's from a parody account. Now I just did that for nothing.
Nice job, Luca.
Listen, it was pretty corny. But anyways, I got to get to my thread here. Obviously, let me just make sure the tab's muted. I'm going to share my screen real quick. It's a little thread. Guys, if you're a Knicks fan or a basketball fan, follow Ariel Pacheco on Twitter, Pacheco NBA. Really good with film breakdowns and stuff. So I'm going to start with the first one. Knicks Pacers rewatch. RJ's jumper looked really good last night, and it wasn't just on catch and shoot opportunities. He hits this movement three from a tough angle after Duarte helps over on Brunson. No hesitation and good footwork leading up to the shot. Brunson in the post. Duarte helps out. RJ Barrett cuts open three. Yes. That's what I talk about when being an off-ball player and getting to your spots. Meanwhile, Reddish is not moving. Julius Randle's not moving. Mitchell Robinson's not moving.
Exactly. The only person moving was RJ Barrett.
Exactly. And I think RJ is absolutely a fit in this offense. All right, so I'm going to pause this for a sec. RJ gets this one off with a tight contest and little room to get it off. If he can be back to around where he was as a shooter in his second season, the offense would be helped a bunch. Randle, one-on-one ball. Duarte tending to his zone right here.
Look at this. Just for a minute. There's 4 people keyed in on him, and he's still dribbling.
It's kind of got
tough contest,
Reddish
3.
now. Yeah, there.
Tough contest, 3.
It's a nice shot.
Here you go. Just a bad stretch from Reddish here. Let me say, I'm not sure if Donald highlighted this. I was not impressed by Cam Reddish. I'm sorry I wasn't. I'm a fan of his. I know what he can do, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of what he did on that night. He was not impressive.
Thank you, Hayes, for tuning in.
Just a really bad stretch from Reddish here. Turns down the catch-and-shoot 3 opportunity from a pull-up mid-range jumper. Bad spacing from Julius. He also fails to find his main transition, leading to an open 3, and then gets blocked on a 3-point attempt by Duarte. Let's watch the sequence. Randle on the drive. Reddish.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, just take the 3.
Absolutely.
It's so ugly.
Don't hesitate.
And look, Randle's running back for some reason.
Why is he running back? He didn't even set the screen. He actually screened out Cam Reddish instead of the pacer. And once again, Julius Randle with his spin move. I'm sick of his spin move pass. Very sick of it.
So you have that. Why doesn't Reddish take this 3? I'd rather him miss it than do something foolish like this. Misses the 2-pointer. Rebound Duarte and Miles Turner. Here we go. We have Halliburton pass to Duarte. Reddish is nowhere to be found. He's right here. Duarte, open pull-up 3. Got it. Nope, maybe not.
Look where Julius Randle was. He was about 10 feet from the pacer.
He was actually, I think this was Terry Taylor, I think. And, yeah.
When he passes to Taylor, Taylor probably shoots a 3, no?
Maybe, but Duarte had the open look. Duarte is a good 3-point shooter, regardless. Barrett up the court. One-on-one here. Tries to drive in. Barrett kicks to Reddish. Reddish fakes and gets his shot blocked.
That's so bad.
Next one. Good stuff from Julius Randle here. Grabs the rebound and pushes, creating enough space of an advantage with the Euro step to find RJ for a 3 in the corner. This is how Julius can help the Knicks. Grabs the rebound, pushing, in transition, driving, RJ 3, yes. Let's watch that again. Grabs the rebound, almost like he stole it from Brunson, but he has the height advantage. Randle driving, he takes Duarte with him, open 3. Yes.
Unselfish basketball.
Yeah, not going to shoot him for that. Next one. Love the floor balance and understanding from each guy when it comes to where they should be on the floor. Hartenstein steps up from the corner to screen on ball. Deuce clears to the corner, and then Obi makes a perfectly timed cut to the basket. Here we go. We have Rose, Deuce McBride, Isaiah Hartenstein calling out where everybody should be. Leadership.
Hartenstein hasn't been too impressive.
Everybody's on the corner.
Well, Hartenstein was better in the first game. Let's be realistic. Rose, quickly, Obi Toppin. Quickly has it. Rose Hartenstein comes with the screen. Rose, Toppin, nice cut, finish at the basket.
Wow.
Rose screened out.
Great screen by Hart.
I don't know why I keep hitting like that. Watch it again. Rose on the drive. Obi Toppin, nice cut, finish at the basket.
Great screen by Hart.
This is nice from Obi. He brings the ball up, lulls the defender to sleep with the behind-the-back dribble, and then beats him to the basket, finishing over with the help. Here we go. Toppin off the rebound pass from Sims. Nasty. Here we go again. This is against Terry Taylor. Toppin slow. Inside. Finish. Over 2 defenders. That's what he can do. Just put him in that position. Don't stick him behind the three-point line. Julius has had a few possessions in the preseason so far when he's awkwardly spaced and crowding guys with the ball. It ends up working out as he hits the three, but he's got to do a better job of giving guys space to create. Here we go. Brunson. Randall fakes the screen. Brunson on the drive. Fakes.
He's just
Great play by Brunson. This is awful from Julius Randle already.
He's just clogging the paint.
Exactly. That's why Brunson has to stop. Kicks to Randall. Randall dribbling a little bit.
Oh my God! He missed. He missed RJ Barrett right there, wide open. Look, he was waving for the ball.
Watch that again. Brunson on the drive. Yeah,
now that's a much easier shot.
Randall, RJ's wide ass open.
He's wide open. He's calling for the ball. Julius ignores him and takes a far more difficult shot. And that was the only 3 he hit all day. So he doesn't deserve any credit for that.
Perhaps Julius could have found RJ cutting to the basket possibly, but I'll leave that alone. Brunson keeps confused on when to switch versus on when to stay as defender. It happened numerous times already. It's something to keep an eye on. Here we go. You got Randall here, RJ, Jalen Brunson confused a little bit. You have Mitch here. You have Cam Reddish here. Halliburton, open shot, yes. Watch that again.
Well, they were all at fault.
Brunson, you got Miles Turner here. Tyrese Halliburton here. Screen here. Brunson gets confused because this is actually right here where I think this is Buddy Hield. Reddish should be right on that guy.
Exactly. Reddish is just as much Reddish than it is Brunson.
Because Reddish is just kind of standing here, I don't know what he's doing here. He's got to stay up, press on his man. That would help Brunson out a lot for the awareness. And it's an open shot for Halliburton. Easy pull up.
I actually think that was more on Reddish than it was Brunson.
No, I agree. I understand the viewpoint. There are things that let me just escape this. There are things Cam does well. He does force turnovers, and he's good in transition. Insane finish that displays the athleticism. Barrett, Robinson, Reddish, Randall, Brunson. Hield. Nice pass deflection from Reddish. Randall brings up the ball. Finish inside. Perfect.
It's a great finish.
Deflection.
He's got the athleticism.
That was never in question. Creative layup. I think he's a better finisher than RJ when it comes to the creativity. But again, we'll see.
No doubt.
Love this find from Brunson and Mitch. Mitch has not had a point guard who can find him consistently when he had the small openings. It'll be nice to see him get one of the easy dunks with how hard he works on in the glass. Bringing up Brunson with the ball. Randall calling for the one-on-one. Here you go. Right, this is, I think, Miles
It would have
Turner.
been a 2-on-1 because if he gets the ball, whoever that is in the paint goes on.
Coming over.
100%.
So he's Brunson finds an
Oh,
open.
wow. That was sick.
A fastball right to Robinson. No chance.
That's a great point. That we have never seen that because all last year and all year before, all we would have done was just give that ball to Julius Randle in that situation and ask him to bail us out. That was a fucking awesome read from Jalen Brunson.
It's a fucking piss missile. I think Reddish was complaining that he didn't get the ball. I don't like his body language, Reddish. I don't know what he's pissed off about. I don't care. More good stuff. I'm going to do a few more of these because I know I'm not trying to clog the segment because this is pretty much the end of it. I'll be honest. More good stuff from Julius. Comes to up the floor in semi-transition. Immediately runs the dribble handoff with RJ, who was probably fouled. Quick decision making is what stands out from Julius here. As here we go. Randall brings up the ball. Hartenstein. This perhaps could be a wide open pass to Hartenstein. Maybe if you
Yeah, missed that.
perfect it. Missed that here. You have Brunson over here. I think you have that's IQ over there. Let me pull this back. Dribble handoff. RJ inside. I think that was foul, honestly. Here we go. Dribble handoff. RJ, this is Terry Taylor and Isaiah Jackson inside. I think RJ had contact over the top of his head, but it doesn't matter. Randall would
I
get
don't think it was that good a play from Julius Randle.
Yeah, it was a simple handoff.
I think this guy's trying too hard, forcing a Julius Randle narrative.
He trust me, he's good with this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to do two more. Pay attention to how Hartenstein sets the screen up for IQ, gives him a ton of space to rise up before the three-point line, especially with how far back Goga Bitadze is in the drop. Hartenstein up top. You have McConnell defending quickly. McConnell was a pest on Friday night. Screen coming. Open quickly. 3, yes. Watch that again. Open 3 from the screen, yes. Last one. This drive is an example of something we have not seen from IQ a year ago. No screen, just drive straight into the defender to draw the foul. Did not shy away from contact, but he seeks it out. That's growth.
Oh, my God. Just looking at the end of the Chiefs-Raiders game. Insane.
I didn't see what happened. Somebody's got to fill me in. IQ, OB, Deuce, Derrick Rose in the corner, and Hartenstein. IQ driving right to the basket, draws that foul. Just does not get the end one. I think I'm going to try to do this like every week. We could break down a little bit from like the preseason and regular season games because I obviously have the thread. But
so let me guess, the Chiefs are probably winning, right?
They won.
Okay, so it all came down to one play for the Raiders, and Devontae Adams was just about to make the catch to win the game for the Raiders, and Hunter Renfrow came from nowhere and took him out. And Devontae Adams went absolutely insane and threw his helmet on the ground, and he was fucking pissed. And
Raiders are 1-3,
and he looked like he was ready to fucking fight people, and the Chiefs won the game. So Hunter Renfrow won the game for the Chiefs. Thank you, Hunter. Good job, brother.
So Donald moves to 46-34. I'm not that far behind at 43-37. And Luke is 42-38. So he takes the L and he chokes to me. So there's that. Anything else?
No more basketball.
Front? What?
No more basketball for me.
Okay. I know we haven't done much of a Yankees segment. Donald, some keys for this Cleveland series. And also, what are your thoughts on Aroldis Chapman giving up on the team?
That's probably the best thing that Chapman's done as a Yankee. He's addition by subtraction. He really is. All I can really remember Chapman's done for us since he came here is knock us out the playoffs on multiple occasions. I still have the enduring image of him giving up that home run to Altuve and him smiling as he walked off the field as the Yankees once again lose in October. He's multiple times he's given up walk-off home runs to end playoff series. For about minimum 3 years now, every single summer, he has to get sent down to AAA to work on his mechanics because he can't throw a fucking strike. And then he blows multiple saves. Then the Yankees need to send him down and then work on his mechanics and then bring him up and then say, oh, he's cured. And then he's all right. And then he gets to October and then blows the Yankees another fucking playoffs. That's been going on for years now. and it's unbelievable the amount of chances he got. When it got to his contract expiring 3 years ago, I was like, oh, thank God his contract's out. It's done. Please don't re-sign him. Brian Cashman re-signed him. That was a huge mistake. It was a cataclysmic mistake. And Chapman has been horrible these last 3 years. He, to be honest, when we re-signed him after we traded him, a lot of that was Brian Cashman's ego. Because Brian Cashman was like, look at me. I traded for him for nothing. Then I then traded him and got a massive return, and then I get to sign him for nothing. I get to sign him again without having to give up any prospects or anything like that. A lot of it was kind of ego because Chapman was at his best when he first went to the Yankees.
Yeah.
And when he went to the Cubs. And then Madden blew out his arm because he had to basically pitch every single inning of the World Series because he was fucking amazing back then. But then his arm got tired. And then the Yankees re-signed him after that. And his arm wasn't the best after that. His arm was never the same again. It kind of held. He was okay in his first stint in return. But no more than that. He was still always a liability. But then Brian Cashman had to re-sign him again? It was the second re-signing, which was a fucking disaster. And this whole year has been a Chapman fuck you.
$18 million a year.
Yeah. He gets paid $18 million a year, and he gets to put his middle finger in the air at everybody, including Brian Cashman, who's done everything he possibly can to give him numerous chances, and he's stolen money. And he somehow managed to get infected for going and getting a tattoo. I don't even know if that's true or not. If it was, he's a fucking idiot. And you know, he actually couldn't pitch properly from day one. Forget the summer. From the very first inning, he was toast all year long. He's been a fucking disgrace. I'm really glad he's gone. It's addition by subtraction.
Luca?
He's not that great of a person. I mean, we could all detail his domestic violence shit, but what a fucking quitter. Fuck him.
Yeah, as Donald and Luca alluded to, Yankees gave him a lot of different chances that he shouldn't have had. I said they should have tried trading him.
Yeah, it wasn't going to happen. Who's on $18 million?
That's, again, but the Yankees listened to their ego rather than, you know, what was right in front of them. And Chapman was able these last few years to ruin games for us. 2 years straight, he ruined games for us in the postseason. Astros and the Rays with Mike Brosseau. Last year, obviously, he had his ups and downs, and same this year, but he should have never been kept around.
There wasn't even any ups this year. It was all downs this year.
As we go into our Guardian segment, we obviously talked about how the video was very unpleasant, and it was just all Brian Cashman love, as Donald put it. In my opinion, I think this is an easy series for the Yankees to overlook. I think this is... So, I got the starters. Garrett Cole's going to start tomorrow. And
Against
he
Cal
really
Quantrill.
against Cal Quantrill. And he really doesn't do terrible against Cleveland, but that doesn't mean, you know, postseason. Because he's never pitched at Yankee Stadium as a Yankee in the postseason. And I'm not talking, at home in San Diego. No, this is his, like, legitimate challenge. Can he face the pressure? So it's going to be Cole and Cal.
Can I ask something? Have they released the playoff roster? It's 11:30 at night.
They have not released the playoff roster. So I found that quite interesting.
The fuck are they doing?
They're going to release it at 11:59, okay? And then the next day it's Cortez and Beaver and Severino and Tristan McKenzie.
I'm just going to say this. Do not overlook their pitching staff. Their pitching staff is remarkable.
I mean, the Rays aren't a good offensive team, but as you just said, don't overlook them.
They were held to 1 run in 2 games.
Will the fans remember the Lyle Straw incident? They should. And you know what? It's. I'll say this every single time. People should remember all these content creators that came out and basically we're sucking off Cleveland fans and Cleveland content creators and fuzzy. Yes, but we did it. I remember we came on here and told the truth, but obviously fans have a short memory. It is what it is. Some people learn the hard way. Please just make contact, no home run swings. We need guys to start lighting it up in the playoffs. And also, once again, it starts now. Gleyber Torres has a capability of lighting up at the playoffs. If the Yankees, if he wants to convince the Yankees not to trade him in the future, Giancarlo Stanton has to light it up. He had a poor second half. It's right out there. It's not saying, oh, Stanton this, Stanton that, Stanton booing, whatever. If you, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to get into this whole subject of whether you should boo Stanton or not, if you don't play well, I mean, you are subject to get booed. Don't mismanage and overthink. Mismanage meaning giving Hicks playing time over Bader. I better not see that happen tomorrow, or else I'm going to flip. Hicks better not see one inning of playing. He shouldn't see it at all. He really shouldn't. I'd rather have LeCastro over Hicks, and that says a lot. But Josh Donaldson, he's gonna have to play well in the playoffs. Two guys in that trade, IKF and Josh Donaldson. My opinion and my way of thinking, and just being a realist, the Yankees are not putting Peraza at shortstop. I would actually be very surprised if they put him on the playoff roster, and I've been surprised before. But if IKF's the shortstop, he's got to make plays. If he doesn't make the simple plays and he doesn't do all that shit, well, guess what? We're gonna light his ass on fire on Twitter. At least I know the three of us will, because it is playoffs. It is time. This ain't the regular season no more. And Josh Donaldson, he was good in the fucking playoffs 5 years ago. He needs to be good now. He can't be striking out, doing the fucking vertical swing like that. It can't happen because the Yankees are paying him so much money, and we've already seen his struggles this year. It just can't happen. The Yankees have so many opportunities to have advantages, but sometimes their thinking can be a disadvantage and outsmarting. Of
course.
Donald?
Exactly. I completely agree with you. In terms of the roster, from what I understand, DJ LeMahieu is struggling. So I think that answers our question as to who's playing third base. It's going to be Josh Donaldson. It looks like DJ LeMahieu's probably going to be used off the bench, which sucks for us. It's not good news because DJ LeMahieu, when healthy, is one of the best pure hitters in all of baseball. He's the best contact hitter that we have on the roster, and he's the best guy at just doing whatever it takes to get the runner over. These are all kinds of traits that you need in the playoffs. So with him being out, and it'll be Josh Donaldson, who's just going to strike out a ton and grind in double plays, it's bad news. Cleveland's pitching staff is elite. Let's not forget they went 15 innings shutout against a very decent Tampa Bay roster. Shut them out for 15 innings in the second game. Game one, they only gave him one run. So in 24 innings, they give him one run? That's fucking insane. Their bullpen is ludicrously good. And Quantrill could pitch. Bieber's their ace. He could pitch. Although the Yankees have done fairly well against Bieber, from what I remember, certainly. I think they can compete with them. It's going to be a very, very tight series. I wouldn't be surprised if it went 5 games. I think the Yankees will take it in 4, and I think it'll be largely low scoring because the Yankees have the same arms. They can match up in terms of the rotation. Garrett Cole, I believe we're going to see a better Garrett Cole. Cortez is phenomenal. Severino looks like he's on fire right now, which certainly holds us in good stead. I think we match up fairly well pitching-wise. We don't match up well with the bullpen. We don't have a closer. We don't really have a setup man. It's all going to be mix and match. I don't like that. Cleveland are much more settled with their bullpen. It just comes down to offense. I don't love Cleveland's offense at all.
No.
The
only
Yankees,
good hitter, I'm sorry to interrupt. The only good hitters they have is Jose Ramirez, Oscar Gonzalez, and Steven Kwan. If you get those 3 out, it's a breeze.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what's going to pay off in the end for the Yankees because even if the Yankees struggle, they will run into a couple of home runs. They just will because they've got Stanton, they've got Judge, they'll have Matt Carpenter, they've got power up and down the order that can run into a home run, and then a couple of runs, the Yankees take the lead. The game's over, in my opinion, because I don't think Cleveland have the offense to catch up. So I think the Yankees will win the series. I think it's going to be tight, and I think Cleveland are going to give us a lot to handle. It's just I think the Yankees are a little bit stronger, but it's certainly not going to be a walk in the park.
I almost said Indians. If the Guardians get to the bullpen for the Yankees, it's not going to be a fun ride. Because you have F. Ross cool, you have Trevino cool, you have Loaiza cool, Wandy's supposed to be back, but who else? Clay Holmes,
Clark Schmidt, maybe. Schmidt, maybe. Holmes. Oh God, I don't like Holmes.
He told us about Clay Holmes, right, Luca?
Yeah.
But also something we haven't touched on.
I told
you about Clay Holmes.
I get Chapman vibes from Holmes. I really do.
Please no. But one
just
thing
in terms
of
inconsistency, not in the bad guy vibes, just because he's obviously a good guy. It's just consistency wise, when he can't find the strike zone, you can pretty much tell within the first couple of batters, or the first couple of pitches, whether he's going to be all right.
I'm sorry, Donald. Continue.
What did you say?
Devontae Adams shoved some staffer aside and he threw him to the ground.
Yeah, he went insane. He threw his helmet and then he was ready to fight people because Hunter Renfroe came like a freight train and took him out.
Yeah.
Well,
I hold on.
Like a speed missile. It was
but
hilarious.
I want to say,
here we go. Let me unmute the tab real quick.
I fucking told you about Clay Holmes how many fucking times do I have to fucking tell you about this fucker?
fun times. But one thing I'd like to touch on, maybe get the final thoughts here, and then we could exit our way out. Is there's two ways this can go. The Yankees with LeMahieu and Benintendi injured, they don't have protection for Judge. Now, if they're good offensively, they don't have to worry too much about that. But if they're bad offensively, you have to worry about that. And I think that could make this thing a little more interesting in a bad way. What do you guys think about that?
Again, to me, the offense, the protection around Judge is going to be my concern, how the Yankees shape the lineup. Guys like Donaldson and Torres need to step up. Rizzo, hoping he comes to play. Stan's always clutch. So again, that's my main worry when it comes to the offense. Just don't overthink it. Don't overthink the lineup. Throw the fucking analytics away and say, you know what? We're going to build the lineup based on sheer common sense and what we think goes right, not what the fucking numbers tell us.
Rizzo better not be batting first tomorrow.
Oh, no.
Donald?
I mean, I completely agree with you. We just don't know how they're going to constitute this lineup. We do know that IKF is going to play short. Who's going to play left field? Is it going to be Ozzie Cabrera or is it going to be Matt Carpenter? Who do you think?
Left field.
It's going to be Ozzie.
Ozzie. I don't think they're playing Carpenter, especially coming off injury in left field, in my opinion.
Right. But it is a question, though, because from what I hear, everyone's saying that he's been doing so well. He looks great. So it's going to be interesting. It really is. I'm not quite sure how they're going to constitute it. I think we do know for sure that IKF's going to be. I agree with you, Alex. I'd be shocked if Peraza plays. I think Peraza should, but
I know Boone's I'm sorry to interrupt, Donald, but I knew Boone said something about Tyon possibly being a closer.
Can you believe that?
Because he said that, Tyon might not pitch as a starter, but he'll be like a reliever and maybe sometimes a closer. If Tyon's the fucking closer in a 3-2 ball game,
I don't know. I don't know what to think of that.
What did you guys think of Brian Cashman's comments?
I did not, if you want my honest opinion, I didn't pay attention to any of it because I feel like it's going to make me angry.
Right.
What did he say?
Well, it was typical Brian Cashman speak, but I was concerned, and it was mentioned by Johnny's Lasagna Twitter account at jlasagna43. Brian Cashman dropped the term healthy when healthy about 4 or 5 times within 10 seconds. It was the amount of times in one sentence that Brian Cashman was giving Aaron Judge praise, but then kept adding the caveat of when healthy. And he kept repeating it and repeating it and repeating it and repeating it
spin out there
right through the sentence. It was fucking shocking. It really was. And I really called that to account in my Pinstripe Chronicles episode today. I'm trying to dig out the actual quote, so give me a second. I'll see if I can.
the past 2 seasons he's been healthy, though. It's not been a health concern.
Exactly.
And then you'll hear from the media when the Yankees don't re-sign Aaron Judge that health concerns were a problem. Not money, health concerns.
Yeah, he said healthy about 15 times. So this is the first sentence. You see what Judge is capable of when he's healthy. Obviously, he puts up huge numbers when he's healthy, and now he stayed healthy. So that was just the first sentence.
Oh, fuck Christ.
Yeah, he's great when he's healthy, and he's been healthy. Aren't those the players you signed to extensions? So yeah, he's mentioned healthy about 6 or 7 times in the space of one sentence. And that's what scares me. A lot of it is narrative. I think the Yankees know that they screwed up, and Brian Cashman is now going to use that as his cover. Aaron Judge's injury history as some sort of
he's wrong.
There's this whole idea that he's been unhealthy as his career is a fallacy. He doesn't get muscle injuries. Stanton gets muscle injuries. He does not get muscle injuries. His injuries come from him balling out.
Broken wrist. Broken wrist. Remember that?
Broken
ribs. Remember that?
Batting. Broken ribs when he's in the outfield. That is not injury prone. Those are freak injuries. That's playing injuries, which nobody can help. Muscle injuries, that's injury prone. Aaron Judge is not injury prone. So that was a fallacy. And that's what Brian Cashman is trying to do now. He's trying to once again pull the covers over your eyes and tell you that Aaron Judge is injury prone. That's why we didn't re-sign him when we had the chance. That's what really annoys me.
Saving face, Donald. Saving face.
I watched that video, and that video of Brian Cashman, I recommend you guys just keep an eye on it because he just was like that. Brian Cashman was like, it was sort of a man that does not look like a general manager of a team that's first in division and ready to try and win a World Series. He looked beaten down.
He should retire then. But if people are serious, about finding out what the truth is, you have those comments, where he mentions all the injuries and all this different stuff, and then he obviously him trying to put a spin on it. But then you got to go back to the off season where he said we're not interested in shortstop because we're trying to sign Aaron Judge, and then you could go to the entire timeline of everything that's preceded itself. If you're smart, though, if you want to, believe everything the organization says, like Nick Tyrell, then do as you please.
It's really Brian Cashman basically telling you that he fucked up.
It's like, you know what these idiots are? It's like, no. It's not even that. It's like these little Twitter idiots, like the Nick Tyrells of the world, believe the Yankees like they're their parents when their parents tell them Santa Claus is fucking real. And once you get older and you read between the lines, you'd realize that the Tooth Fairy, the Santa Claus, and the Easter Bunny are not fucking real.
Children shouldn't be watching this, by the way.
I believe that Santa's real. No, I completely agree with you.
Pigs fly.
I get you. I get your point. You're 100%. It's really annoying that Barry Cashman has to be more preoccupied with spin than anything, and he continues to do it again and again, and it's really freaking annoying.
It's cool because he gets people to believe it. If he's not going to keep doing it if he doesn't get people, he's going to keep doing it because people believe the shit that comes out of his mouth.
They do. They believe
because
all
they
this shit
for the Yankees.
I mean, he's saying here, it's yet to be determined what the gold, how much it weighs, but it's a pot of gold. What the fuck, man? He's speaking like Kamala Harris. No doubt about it. So good for him. It was always a big
so
pot.
many subliminal messages.
Word salad. Word salad.
It's not word salad. Obviously, we'd like to win the day on that discussion, and that's obviously for another day. Obviously. Oh. This is him trying to talk about Aaron fucking Judge.
This is really painful.
And he's a great player who bet on himself. It's the all-time best bet. There you go. That's a middle finger to you, Brian Cashman. Obviously, he was healthy, and you know what he's capable of when he's healthy. He's always putting up numbers when he stays healthy, and he stayed healthy. So now he's healthy now for a number of years. That is a fucking joke. It really is. That is a fucking joke. That is excuses. It really is, man. Because the truth is, they should have bought out his arbitration years ago, and they undercut him with the contract offer before the season started. Last minute contract offer, which wasn't up to scratch because they were using injury as some sort of fucking cover. And then they took him to arbitration. Aaron fucking Judge, in the middle of a 62 home run season, took him to arbitration, and it went straight to a hearing. And then it was hours before the actual hearing took place. Aaron Judge was in a fucking suit, and then they finally caved and met him in the middle. This is not an organization which is fucking smart. It really isn't. They're an organization that worries about the bottom line, about money so much. How Steinbrenner does, certainly Brian Cashman does. They made the all-time worst business decision not to invest in him years ago, because now it's going to cost you $300 million just to sit at the table. Just to get your ass on that table, you need to have $300 million ready to pony up.
Maybe more. Think about it, Donald. All these organizations extending franchise players. Braves, Spencer Strider, Michael Harris, Vaughn Grisham.
And here's the thing, too.
Look at Seattle.
Padres, Rodriguez, all these different teams.
See, here's the thing, too. I talked about it earlier. Ozzie Albies was extended. I think the contract was 7 years, $35 million. You understand how cheap? If I'm correct with this, now maybe I'm going to do the extra research, but you could have literally made it cheaper for yourself, but did it because you didn't extend him earlier. But you wanted to extend Hicks. You wanted to extend Severino. You wanted to get Chapman another couple of years on the books. It's amazing. So let's see. 7 years, $35 million. I'm absolutely correct. This one too. Wander Franco. 7 years, $35 million.
Probably going to cost the Yankees $200 million.
Let me say this. Sorry for interrupting. He was signed in 2019 to that 7 years, $35 million. That's chump change. And I'm not saying that Judge would have automatically agreed, but if it's something on that level, the Yankees look like fucking geniuses, but they don't.
They probably could have gotten Judge $20 million per year over 78 years about 3-4 years ago. I bet they probably could have. Now it's going to cost minimum 35, probably 37, possibly 40 million over 7 or 8 just to get them to sit down and discuss a contract with you. It's just terrible business for a guy who's the face of the franchise. He's been the face of the franchise since Jeter. They've already named right field after him, for fuck's sake, and now he's now the record holder of the American League, and he's going to be an MVP. It's a terrible business. If I was the Yankees business manager, I would be firing Brian Cashman for failing to tie down Aaron Judge last year, because it's going to cost the Yankees hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars, that mistake, even if they re-sign him. Now, I pray to God that he re-signs, because if he doesn't, this team's toast. It's done. It's finished. Finito. They have to have Judge re-signed, and they've got no leverage in negotiations. What leverage can they possibly have in negotiations? Oh, you're injury prone. No, I'm not. I've not been injured in fucking 3 years, you idiot. What more does he need to do? Bats over 300. He's the MVP. He's at 62 home runs, 100 million RBIs in a year. Carried a team to fucking division. They have no leverage. What do you want, Aaron? Do you want the Empire State Building? You want the Statue of Liberty? Do you want Grand Central Station? We'll give it to you. It's that, literally.
I also want to say, I think the Yankees hype video for the postseason further proves that they watch over everything. They hire little agents to hold. This is not just the Yankees. It's other organizations too, but it just further proves the point. They hire little agents to go on their haters and record the videos, all these clips, and say, haha, we proved you
Drafting
wrong.
Mark shouldn't be in a hype video.
Never.
I'm sorry. Like, if you want to call it the haters, whatever, like, normally organizations, like, for instance, the Miami Dolphins were taken with all 10 analysts from NFL Network. They also took the Green Bay Packers. That's on a national level. Draftnik Mark is a Mets fan, and I'm not defending him because Draftnik Mark is an asshole. But some of these guys, they do their own independent podcasts. Like, what's the example you're setting that anyone who says anything right about this team or has instant thoughts, oh, that's going to go in a video and we're going to... But once again, and I'll say this, even though this can be twisted either way, if you were to say something like, well, I think the Yankees are not going to finish... I don't know what happened to Luka there. Probably got unplugged. And he did get unplugged. But what I will say is this. Let's just say I go out today and say, okay, they're not going to finish in the World Series. They're going to lose the Astros because they don't have this, they don't have that, whatever. And if I tweet that out to people who said that they were going to go to the World Series, I would be considered a hater, and I would be considered someone who's rooting against the team. Meanwhile, all I was doing is just warning these Yankee fans, look, this is not where we are because the talent isn't there, the coaching isn't there. I mean,
you can't speak realistic anymore. You can't.
That's right. You can't have a take where you're critical of an organization. And that's what's really unhealthy. The Yankees just need to accept that some people might have different opinions, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we're all rooting for this team to succeed.
Of course.
I'm very happy with the way the season ended. Couldn't have been happier. We broke out all these records. We won a ton of games. We got first. We got the bye. That's all great, right? And I know I'm talking about Brian Cashman in a negative light and all that stuff, but I just think that these kind of things need to be brought to attention, brought to light. And I still hold by. I think the Yankees are better than Cleveland. I think the Yankees are going to make it to the CS. But the Yankees have not proven to me that they're capable of beating the Astros. So I need to see it to believe it. So if the Yankees were to beat the Astros, that's great. But that does not mean that I'm some hot ticket idiot who's just screaming, "Oh, the Yankees suck." No, it's not that case. It's just I'm not seeing them beat the Astros. And until they beat the Astros, then I've got to have to see it to believe it. So at the moment, I have the Astros beating the Yankees in 7 games. But that does not mean that the Yankees can't do it, because the Yankees have the strength to make the World Series. Do I think the Yankees are going to win a World Series this year? My honest answer is no. I think the Dodgers are stronger. I think the Braves are stronger. I think the Padres could give us a fucking horrible game too. I think the National League teams are a little stronger than we are. I think we have every chance of beating the Astros. I think if you matched up with us, I think we've got better players than the Astros do. It's just we haven't once proven that we can be capable of beating them in October or even the regular season. So until I see that, then I'm going to say a 7-game ALCS defeat. But that doesn't even necessarily mean it's a failure of a season. It's a hell of a good year. But, the Yankees' expectations are World Series, so we'll still stick by that. But, I'm definitely not a hater. I'm going to root for this team. But I have to be critical of the way Brian Cashman has managed this team. There's no way that you can invest $18 million per year in Aroldis Chapman and not re-sign Aaron Judge. That's a mistake. I don't care who you are, which organization is, I would still say the same thing. I have to call facts facts.
Luca, you can say anything?
I was going to say it's like your friend is into bad habits, and let's just say he smokes and does alcohol and drinks, and you can't call him out for it, but he is your friend and you want him to be better and healthy. That's what we're here with the Yankees. Not that they're in bad habits or anything, but we love this team. We want them to be better. That's all. We're rooting for the same goal here. But unfortunately, we have to justify ourselves on Yankee Twitter.
Which doesn't happen in any other fan base.
No.
Nick Twitter, I don't need to justify myself. Giants Twitter. We
Giants
don't
Twitter
need
is
to.
awesome compared to the Yankees Twitter.
Giants Twitter is excellent. Yankee Twitter is a popularity contest. As soon as the Yankees make the playoffs, you're not allowed to have a negative take, or you're just
you can't say anything other than the fact that they're going to the World Series.
yeah. Other than I'm crying, I'm so excited.
Also another thing as well. I know we were making fun of John earlier, but if you come out and say, "Listen, Max Scherzer pitched like shit," but Garrett Cole, it hasn't been much better in high leverage situations. And people were saying, like Dan Rourke had the the balls to really put, and this is being real, put Jesus on a cross in a picture and say this would be Garrett Cole if it was Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer got torn up by Mets fans. Mets fans don't have necessarily the base of Yankees Twitter to see all over, so you could see all over the internet. Like John was pissed. I talked to him after that game. I've talked to several other Mets fans after the game. They ain't happy with that sort of pitching. All these other things. But once again, it just comes to show if you don't have a
first of all, if you want to make a point about your player that you're standing, that's fine. I don't like it, but I'll respect it. Well, maybe not. But you putting Christ on the cross to get your point across is fucking ludicrous.
And although I am critical of Yankee Twitter's popularity contest, I'm not critical of Yankee fans in general. I think the Yankee fans have showed up and showed out all year long, and they deserve credit for it. We deserve credit for it. There's a lot of fans all over baseball who haven't gone to games, who haven't been nearly as invested in the Yankees are. The Yankees turned that stadium into a fortress. It was loud. It was exciting. Even the luxury seats was filled out. The Yankees sold out every single game and went to every single game watching history. And the Yankees, only ex-Yankee players like David Cohn and of course Paul O'Neill, Derek Jeter, are always saying this is the best fan base in all of the world. They really are special. But it's guys like Straw who says that the Yankees are the worst fan base, and then got the Yankees doing a hype video but critical of the fans. That sucks, because the Yankees fans, in my opinion, have been fucking awesome. I'm proud to be a Yankee fan. I'm very proud of the Yankees, because it would suck. It'd be suck to be a Met fan, really. First of all, they go overly excited over 100 wins. Congratulations, but you get knocked out in the first round. Your manager's trying to imitate that the fucking Padres are cheating. That sucks. And then half their stands are empty in a fucking playoff game. I don't think that they're a real organization. The Yankees are a very fucking real organization. I'm very proud of the Yankees. I'm very proud of the Yankee fans. Very proud of the season that we had. I'm just critical of Brian Cashman.
Imagine playing
the organization.
Right. Absolutely. Imagine playing imagine doing what they did with Edwin Diaz down 4-0 in that scenario. Playing the fucking Norco.
That's fucking embarrassing. My God.
That was typical Mets.
It really is. It's a Metsian thing to do.
Well,
it really are. They're different levels, man. Because there was pictures of like empty stands, and the Met fans would be like, "Oh yeah, but it's a school night tomorrow, and just wait to the playoffs." Well, we got to the playoffs, and there were still empty people and empty seats in the stands. What's your excuse now? There is no excuse. You guys aren't that good a fan base. Sorry.
Yeah. No, definitely some good points. The Yankees have a playoff game today. This is 12:03 in the morning. We're going to wrap it up here. 6 minutes. Well, I mean, not necessarily 6 minutes short of another 4-hour show. Well, that would be 9 minutes because we did have a 3-minute loop before. I'm going to go with Luca, final thoughts, Donald, final thoughts, and we'll close it out here.
Great to talk. Obviously, boys in the Big Apple. Obviously, check everybody out. Subscribe, hit the like button, comment. Follow Donald on Twitter. I'm sure Alex has all the social media. Follow Nerding Out Sports. Subscribe to Nerding Out Sports. So it's Pinstripe Chronicles as well. Great talk football. Another Victory Monday complete. Hopefully we win next week against Green Bay. I think we have a real chance. Let's see what these Yankees do in the playoffs. I'm definitely rooting them on. I don't want to be right about my prediction. I don't.
Donald.
So I believe we're doing a stream on Thursday, right?
As of right now, any rain. But yeah, it looks like we're going to be doing game 2.
Okay, so everybody check us out on Thursday. Very much going to get wrapped up into the Yankees playoff series. Excited for it. As I say, I've been proud of the season that we had. I think it was a very good season, in general. And I'm excited to see what Aaron Judge can conjure up in the series ahead. I think the Yankees take it, but it's going to be very tight. And I think the Guardians are going to be a tough out. Very proud of the Giants. For me, it was the best win in 10 years. It's the best coach game since Tom Coughlin masterminded the Super Bowl win over the Patriots in 2011. It's been a long, long time since then that we've had a game that elitely coached, and that was the case against the Packers. The Packers aren't that great a team, but considering the odds, every single person in the media had us losing by multiple scores, and the Giants take it with practice squad players. Full credit to this Giant coaching staff. They're fucking amazing. And Saquon Barkley, give him a new contract. And Daniel Jones is playing for one. So I'm very, very proud to be a Giant fan right now. And Jet fans have a reason to be happy too. Congratulations to the New York Jets, 3-2. They actually have a very good roster. I think that Joe Douglas had a phenomenal draft. And it's starting to pay off already. And they've got a formidable roster. Again, very much the same as the Giants, taking it on a week-to-week basis. But we should be happy. It's Victory Monday. And once again, it's my very pleasure to be with my two brothers here, Luca and Alex, on a Victory Monday. And once again, thank you so much to Tony, Jacob, and all the other guys that we've had in the chat prior. Thanks so much for sticking with us. It's a pleasure.
So Jacob says you guys think Peraza making the roster is dependent on DJ making it or not. Possibly. I think it also revolves around if Marwin's actually going to make it. Because DJ's, that's one thing. I think it's actually dependent on when Marwin's going to make it. Because, you have Cabrera, who's going to make the roster, in my opinion. But you also have Peraza, who's healthy. He's a little bit more flexible, and he just gives you more promise than Marwin Gonzalez does. But like, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Turn on that notification button so you know when a live stream pops or a video drops. Subscribe to all the links in the description. Follow all that good stuff. 12:30 tomorrow will be the Packers recap. Very happy to do a podcast. Giants are 4-1. Can't believe it. Wednesday will be Twin Bill NYY News TV. That's going to be 8:30 Wednesday night. Thursday will be the game 2 of the ALDS between the Guardians and the New York Yankees, pending, of course, any rain and all that. Friday looks like nothing. Saturday will be Ravens preview, Big Blue in the Bronx. Sunday, nothing, and then we're back for either Boys in the Big Apple, which actually we'll update you guys on Twitter and in Instagram and YouTube and all that other stuff regarding next week because the Yankees may or may not play next week. Anyway, peace out, guys. See you later. Stay cool. Have a good night. Thanks for sticking with us.